Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to Wrestling Days Live. We are live for NXT and AEW. Of course, this is a big week for AEW. It is it Bash Beach? I can't remember what it's called. But it is one of their kind of big themed shows. It's not Bash at the Beach. But we do have a wedding. And apparently this is a real wedding. Apparently, Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford are actually really getting married. Like, not just in storyline, but actually really getting married tonight. So, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't realize this was an actual wedding. I thought it was just a storyline wedding. So, very strange. So, we've got that. We've got, obviously, Dusty Rhodes Classic happening over on NXT. The big news over there, though, is the fact that Edge is going to be in appearance. Edge is going to be on this show. So, yeah, there's lots going down. Lots of stuff to talk about. I'll be honest, I haven't seen tons of news today. But I do need to have a quick look on Twitter and catch up with a few things. But, yeah, it's just a stacked show. It's just absolutely stacked in regards to all of the matches that have been announced. I've got them all written down. I do want to jump into the chat, say hello to people before I start reading all of those out. Wrestling Days fan, very excited about Edge. So you should be. No idea what he's going to say tonight. Obviously, he is likely to go up to Finn Balor. Don't know, as we said, what will come of that. I'm not expecting him to challenge Finn. But I do think that he's going to make it known that Finn is an option. You might remember that Charlotte faced Rhea Ripley last year for the NXT Women's Championship. So it could be a case that he just wants to make Finn Balor know that he's an option. He quite fancies winning that NXT Championship or something along those lines. So I'm guessing it's going to be something like that. But to be perfectly honest, I think he's going to go to SmackDown. Well, he will go to SmackDown. And I'm expecting him to challenge Roman Reigns. So there are a few reports coming out that is the plan. I don't know how reliable
Not
those
Friedman
reports
is a
are.
legend. They donated
Not Friedman, shout out to you.
$4.99 via a super chat. Do you think CM Punk will be on AEW since TK ended up getting Sting? Your thoughts?
No. I mean, like, they have approached him. They do want him. And he has been very open about saying that he'll go wherever the money, whoever's got the biggest bag. I mean, he was very open in saying that, you know, he would still be up for going back to WWE. They've just got to put the right size bag in front of him, meaning a bag full of money. AEW did reach out to him, but they sent him a text. It was done by a text, and it really upset him. Like, I think he wants to be made to feel special. I think he wants to know that if he's going to come back, he's going to be booked right. I think he wants to know that if he's going to come back, it's going to be worth it. So not only has the money got to be right, but the way that he's going to be treated, the way that he's going to be booked, if you're going to bring him back, you've got to make sure that he knows it's worth it. And I don't think sending him a text saying, hey, do you fancy coming in to have a chat with us or something like this, I don't know that kind of got off on the right foot. So, yeah, could he come back? Absolutely. But they've got to fix those other things first. And they might want to do that if they're serious
is a
about
legend. They
kicking
donated
on.
$2 New Zealand via a super chat. Hey Days, how are you today, my friend?
Hayden, how are you, buddy? Hayden says hello to us on every single stream. I'm good, thanks, man. I hope you're well. So shout out to you, Hayden. So yeah, just kind of finish up what we were saying in regards to CM Punk. I think that there is a chance that we do see him going somewhere, but I just don't know that it's going to be at AEW. Because, I mean, it's amazed me that WWE haven't come in for him, because as much as WWE might not be his biggest fans, they surely can't want him to go to AEW. I mean, you've seen the impact that Sting has had. When Sting came in, they like all of a sudden were pushing like nearly 1 million on their views. And that's the impact that a name like that can have. I mean, every single week they advertise Sting will be on the show because they know that it does influence the numbers. But I mean, it's getting to the point now where, it's a little bit overkill. We are building towards his first match, though. He is going to be in a street fight. So that's quite an exciting development. So there's definitely stuff happening with Sting. We've seen the impact that Sting has had. You've got to know that they are fully aware that CM Punk would have as big, if not bigger, impact. So, I mean, I wouldn't completely rule it out. I do think there's a very good chance that he goes somewhere, because I do think that as this war continues to rage, this Wednesday night war, one of the sides has got to finally pull that CM Punk trigger. He's just sitting there not doing anything. And he's a guaranteed draw. So, I don't know. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? But as crazy as it sounds, constantly talking about CM Punk, and it does sound crazy. But as someone will pull that trigger eventually. I'm sure of it. There's too much at stake. Because he's a game changer. He is an absolute game changer. If he goes to NXT, which he never would, but if he did go to NXT, I mean, that would just blow that company up. Same with AEW. Days, would you like to see Chris Masters back? Not really, if I'm being honest. I like Chris Masters, and I like the Master Lock and all of that kind of stuff, but I think it was very much of its time. I don't want to see an influx of that kind of generation of talent coming back, because I think there's so much talent now that needs to be built. I don't know what Chris Masters would bring now, if I'm being perfectly honest. I mean, I suppose you could say the same about MVP and Bobby Lashley, and they've done well, but I would draw the line there. I mean, like, maybe you could bring some people back for the women's division, but honestly, I don't.
Not Friedman is a legend. They donated $9.99 via a super chat. I only ask because I can definitely see this Kenny Omega storyline building up to his debut due to Kenny thinking he's best in the world and being cocky.
Yeah, I mean, they could be planting the seeds for that. I mean, I can't. It's such a loose connection that it could happen, but it's not enough for me to go, yes, you're absolutely right, that's where this is going. Kenny calling himself the best in the world or whatever. There's a connection there, but yeah, I mean, look, with CM Punk, I'm very much at the point now where I'll just believe it when I see it, because it's been 7 years. It's been 7 years, and pretty much every year around the Rumble, every year around the build to WrestleMania, his name is constantly mentioned. We've been down this road so many times. So many times. I've got so many of these T-shirts where it's like, yeah, they're bringing in Punk. Look, they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and it's built into this and it's built into that. And then it doesn't happen. So I'm just at the point where I'll believe it when I see it. But could that be built into that? Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you're right. It would make sense. Kenny saying he's the best in the world, and, Kenny overcoming everyone, and boom, you finally bring in CM Punk. I mean, yeah, that'd be huge. It'd be massive. I'm gonna wait and see. I'll believe it when I see it. But it's a very, very good thought, my friend. Days, what are the chances of Edge versus Pete Dunne tonight? Do you know what, actually? I didn't even consider that. I didn't even consider that Edge might have a match. But in all fairness, why wouldn't he? I mean, he's clearly not injured. He won the Rumble. Next night on Raw, he had a match. I mean, you've got to remember, these guys are used to doing house shows night after night after night. Back in their day, that's just how the business was. So, and not even that long ago, like regular house shows was a regular thing. So, could Edge go out there tonight and have a match? Yeah, absolutely. Of course he could. And I didn't even consider that. In my mind, Edge is only there just to give the ratings a little boost. In my mind, he's just going to walk out, cut a promo, and tell Finn Balor to watch on Friday because he'll make his decision. And Balor is very much in the running. that was what I was expecting. I was expecting him to make that kind of an announcement. But then you're right. He absolutely could have a match. Why not? He's there. To my knowledge, he's never had a match in NXT. So I'm trying to think if he had one in like the early years when they first went to Full Sail. Because there was quite a few big names that were going down to NXT around that time. I can't remember Edge. Going there. So to my knowledge, he hasn't ever been to NXT. So this would be cool. That would be cool. I don't know if it'll be against Pete Dunne. It literally could be against anyone. Maybe not Pete Dunne, because I think they're trying to build Pete Dunne, and they're clearly building Edge. So you can't really afford for either person to lose that. So I could see him having a match against someone, but maybe not Pete Dunne. Joaquin, shout out to you.
They donated $1.99 via a super chat. Days, did you see the new AU figures today?
Yeah, I did. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to get the screenshots of them or get the images saved, so I don't have them set up like I did last week. They're kind of computer generated, so they're not colored in either. They're just literally the gray base computer image that the figure's going to be based on, but it gives you a good idea of what the figure's going to look like. And the lineup looks good, yeah, look pretty solid. I'm trying to think if there was any that really caught my eye, and I can't really say there was, to be honest. I kind of feel like I know what I'm gonna get now. I think Jazzwares do a solid job. I do think some of the figures are a little bit off when it comes to like maybe some of the faces. Nothing too drastic. Some of the figures are stunning. I mean, let's just be honest here. Like, some of the figures are some of the best I've seen. That Ortiz that we saw last week was incredible. And actually, I mean, Jazzwares are pumping them out as well, aren't they? We are off to the races, man. I feel like every week right now we're talking about new figures or new images, or like they're constantly churning stuff out. The one thing I would say about them is they have apologized. They've said they know that they haven't done enough when it comes to the women's division, and that they are going to rectify that. Obviously, they got Brandy out. Of course, they had to, probably contractually obliged. She was probably the first figure they had to make. So Brandy was done first. Then Riho, the Riho figure, that was one I thought did not look that great. Talking about ones that I thought, had bad face scans and whatever. The Riho figure didn't do it for me. And that, to my knowledge, that's it. We haven't had a Karu Shida. There's been no like Chris Statlander, no Big Swole, no Britt Baker, and she's been very vocal about that. So yeah, they've got a lot of work to do when it comes to the women's division. But yeah, I am definitely not hating on that range, because some of the figures, a good chunk of the figures actually, have been very, very impressive. Very impressive. So, as they continue and as the technology improves and as, they do future scans and all of that, should get to a really great place. I'm hoping for like a big play set. I know that sounds a bit childish, play set. It's a very strange word, but I'm hoping for like some kind of like some sort of stadium stampede. Like, I didn't hate the match. I hated the Matt Hardy changing clothes bit, but part of the match, the bit where they're fighting on the football field and whatever, there was parts of that match that I thought was decent. But I mean, if you could create like, a nice little backstage area, the football field, the ring in the middle, maybe Hangman on a horse, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to see, or Daly's place. I don't know if there's a way of creating Daly's place. The thing with AEW is obviously they've got their entrance stage that Jazzwares needs to make. And there's a lot of like fighting that happens in backstage areas, certainly ringside areas. They're constantly fighting in barricades and going over railings and all this kind of stuff. So I really feel like, I don't know if they need a stadium stampede or if they need a Daly's place with the stage, but I feel like that's something that I'm hoping they're working on, because that won't be quick. I mean, even if they start now, I mean, They might get it out for Christmas. Even if they've started it, they might get it out for Christmas. So these things take like good 12 months plus. So I hope they're starting to work on something like that, because I think people would want that. Sam, shout out to you. I hope you are well. What do you think of Damian Priest on Raw? It's not how I would have used him, but
Sam
Piboon
is a legend. They donated $4.99 via a super chat. Who do you want Edge have a match with at WrestleMania?
Roman Reigns, bud. Roman Reigns. I think that if you look at Edge, I said this the other day, there's a lot of people that do want Edge versus Drew, and that's absolutely fine, because it would be a great match. For me, I just think that Edge is a big baby face. This is him trying to win one final title, and so people are going to be rooting for Edge. Like, people want Edge to succeed. Everyone knows his story. Everyone knows that he was away for 7 years. People want Edge to win. The problem is that WWE are trying to build Drew. Like, he's a baby face as well. He had a great 2020. He's had some great matches recently. I actually thought his match with Goldberg was pretty decent. I think as well his matches with AJ, his matches with Roman at Survivor Series, a couple of matches he had with Randy Orton. I would say since SummerSlam, Drew has gone to a different level. I kind of feel like up to SummerSlam, he was facing Andrade, Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Lashley. They're kind of like mid-card fodder, right? He's now moved on to legends. He's now moved on to big names. Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Goldberg. Like, you know, now Drew is facing big names. So Edge would make sense. The problem is that the crowd would be split. Who would you root for? You'd have half the crowd rooting for Edge, half the crowd rooting for Drew. It would make for a good match. I'd be fine with it. But I just think that WWE might want people more united behind Edge for this potentially final run. So as a result, putting him up against Roman, the biggest heel that they've got right now, makes the most sense to me. I would have him going up against Roman. I understand that Roman's cool. I understand that people are rooting for Roman, and that even heels can be supported. But yeah, I think having a classic heel versus babyface match, I think makes a lot of sense. So I think Edge, Roman, and the rumors are that is what they're looking at. But well, we'll find out, won't we? We'll find out. I think any of the matches would be great, though. I think if you did Drew versus Edge, okay, it would split the crowd, but so did Hogan Ultimate Warrior. That split the crowd as well. And that's one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time. So, yeah, you could still do it. It just feels a bit early to do that to Drew. I mean, Hogan was established by that point. I mean, like, we were a good, 7 years into Hulkamania by that point? Like, this is very early for Drew. I wouldn't do that to Drew just yet. You could do it in the future. A few years down the road, you could do it, but I wouldn't do it now. Wrestling Days fan says, did you forget about Seth versus Drew? I did, actually, yeah. I did forget about Seth versus Drew. That's. I seem to remember it being an all right match, actually, now you mention it. To be honest, I'm sorry, but Monday Night Messiah is mid-card fodder. So Monday Night Messiah isn't legend stuff for me. So Drew against Seth, I'd put that alongside him facing Bobby Lashley. I think the Monday Night Messiah gimmick is a mid-card gimmick. I really do. Did you see the announcement of NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day? I did. Shout out to you, Lauren. Hope you are well. So that is the name of the next takeover. It's called Vengeance Day. The logo, it's a black background. I wonder if I can find it. I should be able to find that and show you it for those that haven't seen it. Let's have a look. Vengeance Day NXT. There it is. It's not. It's the traditional kind of Vengeance logo. here we go. It looks cool. I haven't got an issue with it. I think people, the response that I've seen is that people have said they could have come up with a better name. But it looks to me like it's based on the Vengeance pay-per-view. And I'm struggling to find a file that I'll be able to show you. Can't show you that one. Let me copy this. Yeah, so I've got it here. It's only the top part of the logo, unfortunately. But this is what the logo looks like, and then it just says Vengeance underneath it. Let's jump into images. Download. Boom. So, I know it's only the top part. The only other one I could quickly find, it wouldn't let me copy it. So, it's got that logo at the top. It says NXT TakeOver, and then in white, underneath, it says the word Vengeance. But it's that logo at the top that's, like, as I said, based on the Vengeance pay-per-view that we've had before. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I don't know. I must admit, it didn't really set my pulse racing. I didn't look at it and get all excited and lose my mind. It's not, I didn't feel the same way I felt when they brought back In Your House. So, I don't know. I kind of agree. I do think there's probably potential they could have done something else, something different, something more. But, look, this is what we've got. Looks nice, says J14. There's not many people left on Raw for Drew to face. Maybe Cena could go for some titles or build Damian as a heel, says the Moldy Spoon. Well, I said this. I can't remember when I said it, but people were, some were on board, some weren't. I understand. I would do The Miz. And the reason why I would do The Miz is because I think The Miz could cash in before WrestleMania. He could cash in before WrestleMania. And then you could end up with Drew having to get the title back. So you could have Drew against Sheamus. Drew could beat Sheamus, and then Miz cashes in, and all of a sudden Miz is the champion, and he's going into WrestleMania as the champion, and Drew is going to have to try and win it back. You could do that story easily, would make sense. You could bring back Cena. I think bringing back Cena would be awesome, actually. I think Drew's title reign is only going to be as good as the people he beats. That's why it's so important that he's beating the likes of Goldberg and, you know, top tier talent, big legendary names, because you're only as good as the people you beat. So if he can face John Cena at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship, Cena going for that record, Drew trying to retain, then I think that's an excellent story. I would take that over The Miz. I know that some would be against it because people don't like part-timers coming in and getting title opportunities. I do feel, though, that John Cena is kind of that level where he can absolutely come in and he will always be seen as being main event ready. You know, maybe he wins a number one contenders match just to make people happy. You know, you do a fatal four-way, John Cena wins it, and there we go. John Cena gonna go up against Drew McIntyre for the title. So Edge against Roman, Cena against Drew. I'd be down for that. I think it's way too early to be giving Damian Priest a title match. I mean, honestly, at the moment is like messing around with Bad Bunny and The Miz. So yeah, way too early. He's got to go through the mid card first. He's probably got to have a United States title run. I could see him going up against someone like Bobby Lashley. So, Daze, do you think Velveteen Dream will get released after Lars was released? I don't know that the two are going to be connected. If I'm being perfectly honest, I kind of think that they knew about Lars for a while. They kept trying to move forward. I think there's, look, when it comes to the Velveteen Dream, we don't know what the truth is. We don't know. He is denying the allegations that have been made against him. The problem is, there was still someone saying, well, no one has spoken to me. WWE came out and said there'd been an investigation, which is exactly what they should have said. But the problem was, there was still someone on Twitter going, well, no one's spoken to me. And they were still making allegations. So until this is properly sorted, until it's been properly investigated and we've got a proper answer, there's always going to be a cloud over him. I don't know how he's going to move forward until this is dealt with. You've got to deal with this. So if it's dealt with, it's investigated, he's innocent, then brilliant. I still feel that the character is going to feel flawed. The Velveteen Dream character isn't going to feel right anymore, regardless of the outcome. Seeing him come down and, he's kind of... the way that he acts, the mannerisms and everything, it's not going to work. I think they're going to need to look at a different gimmick for him, a change for him. I don't know what that is. It's going to be very difficult because I do think that he really embodied that persona. But I just think that it's going to be hard to continue now with that character, regardless. But if it comes back that he's innocent, then absolutely we've got to keep moving forward with the Dream. The problem is we don't know. We don't know. I mean, he could be guilty of the things that people are saying. And if that's the case, then it needs to be handed over to the police. He needs to be gone from WWE. And we need to move forward. If he's innocent, then we continue with Velveteen Dream. And support Velveteen Dream. But we can't carry on with this persona. It just won't feel the same. Did you hear that Big E is willing to give Christian an IC title match that was meant to happen between the two 7 years ago? Well, that's great. He should. The only thing is, if you do Drew versus Cena at WrestleMania, and you do Edge versus Roman, and then you're doing Christian versus Big E, I can understand the people going, what is going on? Where are all the opportunities for the young up-and-comers? What's Keith Lee meant to do? What's Damian Priest meant to do? What's Daniel Bryan meant to do? What's Nakamura meant to do? I would understand that. But I do think Christian deserves a match for that IC title. My understanding was his final match was him winning an IC title #1 contenders. That was his last match. And then that was it. He was done. And then he had the unsanctioned match last year. And then the Rumble. So his last proper match was winning a #1 contenders for the IC. So it's quite interesting, isn't it, that there's a few rumblings now about him and Big E. I'd love to see it. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Even if he loses, at least we would have found out what would have happened. Daze, what's your thoughts on Belair feet on the floor? Not on the floor for me, Mark Clark. I've been quite vocal on that. I haven't done a video on it because, to be honest, it was little rumblings, and it was one of those things. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's going to blow up. People love conspiracy theories. That is going to blow up, and seemingly it has. For me, if you look at the image looks like her feet are on the floor. So I do get where people are coming from. People have sent me the image. They've sent me close-ups of her feet, like showing like they're on the floor. You can see they're on the floor. The thing is, if you watch the video footage, her feet are swinging freely. Her feet are in motion. And to me, they don't at any point actually. There's no friction. They don't touch the floor. Her feet are swinging. Like you watch the video and you're like, okay, when's like you're waiting for her feet to touch the floor and they're swinging, and you're like, and then she's back in the ring and you're like, no, that's fine. It was all fine. So it's that moment where her feet are like closest to the floor. The image has been taken. But if you watch the video footage, it's not as if like she pushes off the ground, or it's not as if there's any friction or anything like that. You get a much better idea if you watch the video rather than look at the photo. If you look at the photo, I would totally understand people saying her feet are touching the floor. But again, if you look at the photo, there's no indentation on the floor. There's no weight being applied. Her heels are clearly off the ground. If anything's touching the ground, it would be kind of the flat part of the foot. And again, there's no indentation on the floor. There's no friction when her feet are swinging. This is, to me, a non-story. And someone has took a picture, took an image at a moment where her feet are closest. And, you know, it looks good as an image. That is it. Like, if I could pour any more cold water onto this, I would. Because, like, Belair winning is awesome. If she had made a mistake, then they could turn it into a controversy. I've seen people saying, who cares? Like, honestly, what does it matter? Like, you can make a thing out of this and make it controversial. The problem is that it's not meant to be controversial. This is meant to be Bianca Belair's big moment. And people, like, trying to make something out of this, I think it's a real shame. I really do. I think it's a real shame. Like, in all fairness, she shouldn't be running it that close. It doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. You don't need that. You get just as much drama than being over by the ropes as you do with their feet swinging away on the floor. So, like, hopefully this is a lesson learned. Don't run it that close. Don't be that stupid. Stop trying to be Shawn Michaels, right? Shawn Michaels did it in 95 or whatever, and it was awesome, skinning the cat, and he's like, ah. But you're not going to recreate that moment because that was the first time we'd seen it. That was the first time we'd seen it. It was flipping incredible. And it's been replicated many, many times since, to the point where it doesn't really have the impact anymore. It's kind of like suicide dives. Do you know what I mean? Like, you see so many suicide dives, they just don't work anymore. No one cares anymore. I don't even know why they do them anymore. Unless you're called Carmella and you're going to do a suicide dive where you literally land on your face. Like, you're not going to get much of a reaction. And I don't recommend that anyone copies Carmella's technique, in all fairness. So, yeah, for me, not on the floor. If you think it was, that's absolutely fine. All I can tell you is that I went back and watched the video, and for me, it was fine. Everything was good, and she is a worthy winner. A worthy winner. Such a great moment. I love the moment when, like, it gets down. I have mentioned this before. When it got down to her and Rhea Ripley. And I think they kind of run at each other. And it is kind of like a Matrix moment. There's a moment in the Matrix, I think, where they're in the subway. And they kind of, I can't remember if they collide and spin each other around. But there's a bit where Belair runs at Ripley and they dive at each other. And they end up spinning each other around in the air. That is legit one of my favorite female wrestling moments in WWE. These two young guns, the final of the Rumble, we're going to have a brand new breakthrough star, and they just run at each other. They just run and they just collide and they spin each other around. They both get planted down on the ring, and it's like, oh. And that bit as well where they're sitting on the edge of the ring. Just moments after the feet thing. They're sitting on the edge of the ring and they're both staring at each other. And it's just like there's a respect there. There's a moment there. They know the world is watching. The wrestling world is watching. It's their time to shine. We're going to get a brand new main eventer. I mean, I know that Rhea Ripley was at WrestleMania last year, but like, honestly, now being on the main roster, winning Royal Rumble, going for either Raw or the SmackDown title, it is a step up from what she did at WrestleMania 36. So
RJ Madma is a legend.
It was really good.
They donated $5 via a super chat. Hey days. Hey chat. Hope everyone's having a good one so far.
RJ Madma, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are well. Lovely message. Yeah, I think we're doing well. Time is absolutely flying by tonight. I still haven't even managed to sort the tweet out and all that kind of stuff. So I am still in the process of doing that. If I seem a little distracted, that is part of the reason why. I was just, to be honest, we actually had electricians round today. So all the power was turned off during the day. They've just been putting lights up and doing a few bits and bobs and whatever. When it comes to like electrical stuff, it's probably best to get someone in because, you know, things can go badly wrong. So, like, they came round today, and so all the power was off. So, it kind of meant that I wasn't able to start setting up until, like, later than usual. So, it's just meant that things have got a bit delayed today. But, yeah, that was the reason. That was the reason why. So, I am just a little bit behind with a few things, to the point where we haven't even done our chat, our little preview of what we're going to be seeing. So, I do want to do that next. I'm just writing about the wedding. Get this tweet out. Bang. And we are done. Right. On AEW, we have got Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston in a Lumberjack match. We've got Hangman Page and Matt Hardy taking on the Chaos Project. Thunder Rosa faces Britt Baker. I cannot wait for that. Big Thunder Rosa fan. Big Thunder Rosa fan. Loved her in NWA. Brilliant seeing her in AEW. Such a talent. Someone that's got MMA training as well. She actually had an MMA fight. And that was kind of, we saw her journey on the NWA as she kind of went for that. So her striking is legit, man. She knows how to throw. Knows how to kick. She's awesome. She lays it in hard as well. I love watching her wrestle because everything feels so on the money. Like she does a beautiful drop kick when her opponent is down in the corner. She'll run over. She'll really bring her legs back and fire them out with this drop kick. It's so vicious looking. Everything she does with purpose. And I love watching her wrestle. So Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. That should be awesome. Kenny Omega and Good Brothers taking on Moxley and the Lucha Bros. The Penelope Ford Kip Sabian wedding, as we said, is an actual wedding. This is an actual wedding. So apparently, like, I still can't believe that. Not even Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth was a real wedding during the show. So, but we are getting an actual wedding there. We've got the Tag Team Battle Royal. That's happening, and the winner will go to Revolution, get a title opportunity. Plus, we got Sting and Darby Allin. They're going to be in appearance as well. Over on NXT, we got Santos Escobar taking on Curt Stallion. We've got Edge appearing. We've got Undisputed Era against Ciampa and Thatcher. We've got Kayden Carter and Kacy Catanzaro. And again, worth mentioning, there is a picture of all of the women from the Royal Rumble, all in their attire. So, like, it's a lovely image of everyone that had been in the Rumble backstage. You might remember they did it before for the first one. They actually, the first ever Women's Rumble, they took this big picture and they made plaques out of it. Signed plaques, which were like available at the time. I think they were about £600, so they weren't cheap, but really cool. Well, this was just a backstage picture, but Kacy Catanzaro was in the picture in wrestling gear. She must have been a standby because she wasn't in the match. So, but she was there. So maybe if someone got injured or...
Kenneth Derry is a legend. They donated $4.99 via a super chat. Shout out to you, Days. The absolute best.
Shout out to you, Kenneth. Hope you are well, buddy. Thank you for the kind words. Very much appreciated. Kayden and Kacy against Dakota and Raquel. We got Lucha House Party taking on Legado del Fantasma. And, of course, we spoke about the fact that NXT TakeOver is called Vengeance Day. I just saw someone saying, who was it? Days... Lewis says, Days, I know you love Asuka, but she's not doing anything with the title. I agree. That's not her fault. Obviously, how she's booked is how she's booked. I think the fact that they lost the tag titles is a good thing. I think the fact that she was Asuka 2 belts is awesome. I love the fact she achieved that. But her losing the tag titles, yeah, fine. She can now go on to concentrate on defending the Raw Women's. Obviously, she did a little summit with Alexa that obviously wasn't to my taste, but that's kind of the only thing we've seen her do recently. I think someone said before that her last title defense was against Lana or something like this. Like, do you remember when Lana won that Battle Royal and got a title opportunity at the end of 2020? It might have been like November time. That apparently was the last time Asuka had defended. So it does suck. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not a reflection of Asuka. I think she's got some great matches for WrestleMania. You could do Asuka Charlotte. Asuka versus Charlotte at WrestleMania obviously calls back to WrestleMania 34 when Charlotte ended the streak of Asuka, who still has the longest undefeated streak in all of WWE history, which is stunning. It's a fact that doesn't get mentioned enough. So Asuka's streak being ended at WrestleMania 34 calls back to that. So we could do Asuka Charlotte. That would be huge. We could do Asuka Becky. Becky, of course, giving up her title, surrendering her title, didn't lose her title, surrendered it to go off and start a family. So she could come back and try and get the title back. Ready-made story there as well. So love that. I actually think Naomi would be a fantastic opponent as well. Asuka versus Naomi is a match I've wanted to see for a long time. I think Naomi is very athletic in the ring. I think that she's operates at a good pace. I kind of think a match of her and Asuka, who also operates at a good pace, is also very technical in the ring. I think those two could put on an absolute clinic. They could put on an incredible match. So I'd be down for that as well. So, I mean, obviously people were saying, how about Rhea? How about Rhea Ripley? But I don't know what brand Rhea Ripley's going on because she wasn't on Raw. So it does look like potentially she's going to be on SmackDown, which I think is a real shame. I agree. The chat was saying, like, she should go on Raw because Bianca Belair is on SmackDown. And why would you want Bianca and Rhea on the same brand? Because, yeah, they will have matches. They will collide. But you don't need to do it now. Like, aren't they just going to get in each other's way? Just put Rhea on Raw, Bianca on SmackDown, let them build themselves up, and then you've basically got like Drew and Roman again. Do you know what I mean? You've got someone, living it up on Raw, someone living it up over on SmackDown, and they could become two of the biggest stars in all of wrestling. It would not surprise me. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, main event in WrestleMania 41. Would not be surprised in the slightest. Like, they are... Rhea Ripley looks incredible. Like, she looks like $1 million. She looks awesome. And Bianca Belair, her athleticism, her conditioning, her strength. Like, she is the EST. She is the strongest, the fastest. She means what she says. I'm sure she is a CrossFit champion. I'm sure that she has pretty much spent her whole life doing athletics and working out and doing all that kind of conditioning. The shape that she is in is phenomenal. You don't get many people like Bianca Belair. So, I'm a big fan of both of them. I will admit I wasn't a big fan of Rhea Ripley maybe this time last year. Maybe a little bit before that. I remember when Rhea Ripley beat Shayna Baszler in NXT for the Women's Championship? That match wound me up. I remember Rhea Ripley was constantly getting out of submission holds, to the point where it was becoming ridiculous. Like, she was having a 20-minute match, and then, middle of the ring, submission hold would be applied, and she'd just get out of it, and she was no-selling it, and it was really bugging me. It was a real weakness in her game. So watching her fall to the figure 8 at WrestleMania last year, I love that. I was hoping that would kind of get her selling submissions a little bit better. That was the only weakness I saw, because her look, her entrance, everything about her is great. That was the one thing that bugged me about her. But I've not seen examples of that since, to be honest. So, but in all fairness, she didn't have the best 2020. She wasn't having that many matches. I don't even know how many matches she had in 2020, but I don't feel like I was seeing her week after week after week after week after week. But I'm a big fan of her now. Anyway, that was the only stumbling block. I feel like it's sorted, but I'll be keeping an eye. If you're watching, Rhea, I'm watching you. Make sure you're selling submissions, please. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do on that main roster. What about Taya? She was rumored to come to WWE. Yeah, I don't know what's happened with Taya Valkyrie. She was someone that I was expecting for the Royal Rumble. She's left Impact. She's either going to go to WWE or AEW. Maybe she's going AEW. I mean, honestly, it would make sense for her to go to WWE because of John Morrison. But maybe she just thinks that she's going to have more success in AEW. I mean, in all fairness, if you look at the two rosters, you do stand a better chance of being a women's champion in AEW than you do WWE. I mean, if you go to WWE, you're going to have to get past Becky, Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. They're now got Lacey Evans with Ric Flair. I mean, that's without even thinking. I mean, like, if you start going like Naomi and looking at what they're doing with, they could pull the trigger on Liv Morgan. They could pull the trigger on Ruby Riott. They're doing some fun stuff with Billie Kay. Like, where does a Taya Valkyrie fit into a WWE roster? I mean, I'm guessing she would go NXT. But even down in NXT, I mean, the NXT women's division, you got Dakota Kai, you got Raquel Gonzalez, you got Candice LeRae. They're building up Indy Hartwell. They've got Raquel Gonzalez, as we said. They're building up Xia Li. There's loads of women everywhere. But you look over at AEW, and who have they got over there? They got Hikaru Shida, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. But saying that, they've got 2 belts. I mean, like, she could always go for the NWA belt. That's making quite a lot of appearances with Serena Deeb. So they've got the NWA belt over there. They've got the AEW women's belt over there. Granted, there might be some Japanese women that come back. We haven't seen a lot of that Japanese talent. We haven't seen the likes of Riho or is it Yuka Sasaki? I can't remember her surname. But there's quite a few Japanese women that haven't been around because of the travel restrictions. So we'll have to see. Emi Sakura as well. Do you remember her, the Freddie Mercury woman? But Taya Valkyrie should jump a lot of those, in all fairness. So maybe she just looked at it and thought, I stand a better chance with AEW. Days, what about Adam Cole versus Drew? Adam has done everything in NXT. He can play a great heel. Undisputed Era beatdowns on Drew in the build-up would be awesome. They would be awesome. I'd be totally down for that. The only thing is, I've got no idea if they're going to leave NXT. I mean, they should have left NXT by now. They've done everything they need to do about 20 times over in NXT. If you think about how long they've been down there, and actually thinking about it, didn't they arrive by beating up Drew? Who did they beat up? Who did they beat up when they first arrived? Do you remember when they first came in? It was Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole. And they beat up someone. And in my head, it might have been Drew. So there could be a ready-made story there from NXT. I would love it. Yeah, sign me up. I can't guarantee that they're leaving NXT. I can't guarantee they're going up to the main roster. Days, I'm finally here. You can start the show now, says Bonyak. Shout out to you, bud. High Flyer says Priest added to the Hurt Business. Maybe. I'm not a fan of 5 people being in a faction. I kind of think that makes it too big. I think then all of a sudden it becomes difficult to take them down. I kind of think 4 is a little bit tricky, but can be done. You can get a couple of tag teams together or something along those lines. But like where you're starting to get 5, 6 people like that, for me it becomes too strong, too big. I'm not sure. All of a sudden, then it's a real significant movement. So I'm not sure I would do it unless someone left, and then like you could bring him in. But I kind of feel like he's got a nice little gimmick. He's kind of out on his own. He's got his arrow thing that he does. It's kind of cool. I'm surprised Vince hasn't turned him into Robin Hood, thinking about it. But yeah, I think he's all right on his own at the moment. Might do him well to get like some kind of a manager. I miss managers. I really do. Is there a manager right now that's got multiple clients? I can't off the top of my head, I can't think of one. I mean, you got Paul Heyman that manages Roman and maybe manages Brock. I would imagine he would if Brock comes back, but Brock isn't around right now. But I miss like the Heenan family. I miss a manager that has multiple clients, because I do think that there's a lot of wrestlers that would really benefit from that, because you're not in a faction then. You've got kind of other talent that manager manages that could help you, but you're not technically in a faction. I like that idea. I kind of feel like they were starting to do it with Zelina Vega. Do you remember Zelina Vega? She was managing Andrade and she was managing Angel Garza. Like, I kind of felt like she could have added a few more. If she had like 4 or 5 people that she was managing, that would have been awesome. That would have been really, really cool. And then they could have occasionally, not all the time, occasionally helped each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, she could have gestured and called for someone to come down, and like someone comes down and helps out. I wouldn't have wanted it all the time, but you know, you get to like Survivor Series, and then rather than doing Raw SmackDown, you can do Team Zelina versus, you know, whoever else, like the rest of the locker room that have got issues with them. I miss that. I definitely miss that. There was quite a few managers back in the day that had multiple clients. Zelina would have been great in that role, says High Flyer. What about Taz? Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're doing it over on AEW. I suppose I was stuck on WWE main roster mindset for a second. But over on AEW, yes, you are right. Taz is doing that. They kind of hang around as a faction, though, don't they? Kind of Team Taz. They treat it a bit more of a faction. I don't know if the Heenan family used to do that. To be honest, I wasn't watching wrestling like every week at that time. In fact, I wasn't watching wrestling at that time. I kind of started watching wrestling after the Heenan family. So my knowledge of the Heenan family is going back and watching all the old pay-per-views. But I haven't watched like the old primetime wrestlings that were on at that time to know if the Heenan family was working the same way as what Team Taz does now. In my mind, Heenan was just managing different people, and there might be some crossover sometimes, but you never saw the Heenan family come out every week as one group, which is how they're doing Team Taz, seemingly. Team Taz just comes out onto the entrance stage, doesn't it? So even Team Taz, to a degree, is not quite where I would want it to be. I just mean, like, have a manager that manages lots of different people. You bring them down to the ring, you do the match, and that's it. You know, you come down later on with a different guy, different person. And once in a blue moon does, you know, they help each other out. That doesn't seem to happen in wrestling at the moment. More so not the main roster of WWE. Sean says, Days, I believe Edge will challenge Roman at Mania, and at Elimination Chamber, we'll get a number 1 contenders match with Bobby, AJ, Miz, Priest, Randy, Sheamus to see who will face Drew. That'd be good. Yeah, I'd be down with that. Alex Bloomfield, shout out to you, buddy. who do you think has got the best outright division in all of wrestling? Be it the Impact Knockouts or the AEW Men's or any other one. Well, wow, that's a hard one to answer, isn't it? That's a very, I mean, how would you even separate them? Because I think WWE has got the best roster maybe it's ever had. Like, the depth of it, how deep it actually goes. They're missing main event talent. That's what they're missing. They've got it. They can make it, but they haven't made it. I mean, you could easily move AJ Styles back to that main event. But he's not, is he? He's not up there at the moment, but you could easily get him back up there. Same with Daniel Bryan. So you got like AJ, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Edge is around at the moment. Like, you kind of start going through, and it's like there's some names that can move to that main event. I suppose what they're missing are those Stone Colds and Rocks and that, but Roman Reigns definitely stands alongside those. Maybe he is not the same level as a Stone Cold, but I think if you're going to talk about people that define an era, this is the Roman Reigns era. So you've got, obviously, we've just come out of a John Cena era. This is undeniably the Roman Reigns era. I mean, how many times has he main evented WrestleMania the past few years? So, yeah, I think they've got something with Roman, and they've done a good job with Drew. Drew, I think, could get to that level. I think is getting to that level. Has taken great steps towards that level as well. So, you know, back in the Attitude Era, you had Stone Cold and The Rock. And, you know, this era looks like we're getting Roman, Drew, and hopefully some others as well. So it's really hard. I mean, I think the NXT women's division is on fire. I think New Japan have got a great male division. I must admit, I don't know that I would go to AEW for any division. They haven't got a great women's. I think their tag division is quite strong. They might have the strongest tag division, but New Japan's very good. But I wouldn't say their tag division is the strongest division out of every division. Maybe New Japan men. Right. We are up and running. We've got, it is showtime. Here we go. Okay, Jurassic Express are making their way out. We've got Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. We've got Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez about to make their entrances. Of course, Dakota Kai was in the Royal Rumble. Okay. Dakota Kai. Wow, hang on, let's change this. Kai and Gonzalez versus Kayden and Kacy. Right, so that we're starting off with a Dusty Rhodes Classic match over on NXT. And over on AEW, I believe we're starting with the Tag Team Battle Royal, which is going to be a lot of fun. Winner will get a title opportunity at Revolution. Revolution early March. So a little bit time to wait. Boom. Okay, so, yeah, we've got Kacy, we've got Kayden. WWE Fan Talk Show. Shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are well. What do you think Edge will do tonight? I really do think that Edge is going to come out and...
So that's what I was only expecting. I thought he'd come out and, you know, speak to Finn and let Finn know that he is an option tune in on Friday on SmackDown to find out if he's going to pick him or not. My thought was that he was going to try and decide between the three, and so he's stopping by here to let Finn know that he is an option. He is on his radar. He could even explain why NXT would be a title he would want. He's never held it. He thinks that Finn doesn't do a great job of representing the brand, or I don't know, that he could go lots of different ways. There's lots of things that he could say to explain as to why he wants that title. You know, his wife is on the commentary team, so it makes sense for him to go there and be the champion of there. He gets to hang out with his wife as well more often, see her more often, you know. As he's got older, family first, and, he wants to represent NXT, a brand he's never represented. His wife works there. There's loads of things that he can say. So, I was expecting that. I don't think he does choose to represent NXT. I think he'll go to Friday and he'll pick Roman, but I was expecting a promo. But then someone in the chat earlier said, what if he challenges Pete Dunne? I don't think he does that because I don't think either guy can lose. Like, if Pete Dunne loses, that's going to suck. If Edge loses, that's going to suck. Could be a screwy finish, but that would suck because we got a screwy finish on Raw. So I want a nice clean finish. So there's plenty of people he can face. There's plenty of people he could beat. So imagine someone comes down, interrupts. I'm trying to think who that could be. Some kind of mid-card heel. You need an Elias or you need a King Corbin. One of those kind of characters. I don't know if they've got anyone like that, actually. It's kind of like a mid-card heel. Austin Theory. Something like that. Austin Theory against Edge would be awesome. And Austin Theory could lose. I don't think they're necessarily building him up for anything massive solo-wise. If he's going to do anything, I could see him doing some as a tag team with Johnny. So, yeah, maybe he'll come down and someone like Austin Theory will interrupt. I'd kill. Oh, man, what a match. What a match. I'd kill for that match. Edge versus Austin Theory. Beautiful. Fate Ross Fate, shout out to you. We are underway with this AEW Battle Royal. We've got quite a few teams in there. We've got Dark Order. We've got Bucks in there. We've got Jurassic Express. We've got Private Party. We've got Top Flight.
Vape Ross Vape is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. Days, the new deep voice is sexy singer Sadity.
I'm still slightly recovering. It's pretty much sorted, but I am still slightly recovering from the Royal Rumble, where I was screaming my head off. So I feel a lot better than I did on Monday. Monday, I was really struggling through Raw. Not because it was a bad show. I mean, the show was okay. Top Flight have been eliminated, by the way. If one person gets eliminated, they're both eliminated.
82 is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat.
Saman.
Deep Voice Days is back.
Shout out to you. Keep the voice deep.
Young Bucks. Top Flight have been eliminated. Kayden and Kacy are flipping all over the place, actually, and just getting caught there. That was a little bit botchy. Dakota makes the tag over to Raquel Gonzalez. Big strikes coming in over on AEW. Big chops by MJF. I think, is it the Acclaimed? We got Jericho and MJF over by the ropes. We got Luchasaurus just behind. Double clothesline. Jericho and MJF went down. Clothesline again by Private Party. Big boot. Luchasaurus cleaning house at the moment. Yeah, I tell you what, both of these matches are really good. Lovely head scissor takedown by Kayden Carter on NXT. MJF gets hurled by Luchasaurus. I thought Top Flight were eliminated. I'm sure the commentators, I'm sure Excalibur said Top Flight were out. If one person gets eliminated, they both went. Silver. Oh, Stu Grayson, sorry. Pele kick. NXT goes to commercial break. Grayson getting hung on the rope. Silver is over in the corner. Forearm strike by Grayson. Looking to suplex Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus trying to reverse it. Grayson is on the edge of the ring. Grayson gets thrown to the outside and is eliminated. Luchasaurus is dumped over the top by Evil Uno and Silver. Please someone eliminate Jericho, MJF as quickly as possible. Nice step up Inzaguri by John Silver. Evil Uno over the top. Evil Uno's gone. Evil Uno eliminated by MJF. Yeah, a little bit of confusion as to whether if one person is eliminated, the team are eliminated, but it doesn't seem to be that way. Just seems to be like every person for themselves. Over the top to the outside. Private Party in a little bit of trouble. Ah. Big strike. It's great work by, I don't know the names of these tag teams. I don't know what Top Flight are called. But it's one of the Top Flight guys doing really good work. Lovely double suplex there. Silver managed to suplex Santana and Ortiz. That's cool. Going over. He went for a double clothesline. They've grabbed him. They're going to hurl him over the top. Oh, what? They've eliminated Silver? So it's not going to be Dark Order. I don't know if there's any Dark Order members that are left. That sucks, man. I wanted Dark Order to win this. After what happened with Brody and everything, I really wanted to see Dark Order get a title opportunity. That's a shame. Over the top goes Santana. Ortiz charging over. Gets dumped over the top. Super kick. Lovely work by Nick Jackson. So Santana and Ortiz have been eliminated. Lovely Inzaguri. Good Brothers have come out. So Good Brothers are at ringside. To the outside goes Nick Jackson. A lot of people just lying down on the floor. Over the top. Duck underneath. Again, Isaiah Cassidy eliminated. Good Brothers pull down that top rope. Isaiah Cassidy eliminated. NXT is still at commercial break, so there's nothing happening over there. MJF. Oh, eliminates him. Nick Jackson has gone. Nick Jackson has gone. Ah, look at Jericho and MJF. They do the Young Bucks pose. Jungle Boy in the corner on his own. We've got one member of Top Flight, one member of, I don't know who that is. Is it the Acclaimed? We've got Jungle Boy. We've got 3 members of the Inner Circle. We've got MJF, Jericho, and Sammy Guevara. It's good. Did you see the Razor Ramon belt, says Miss Clown 1. I did. I saw the one image. It didn't look that great. I mean, there must have been details that I was missing because it was just an IC belt. I think the globe was purple. I think the strap was purple. There might have been a few small decorations on the strap, but nothing major. I need to have a look at other images. Kacy Catanzaro climbing up that scaffolding on the outside, crossbody, throws Dakota Kai into the ring. 1, 2, shoulder up by Dakota Kai. Good opening little match, this. Inner Circle desperately trying to eliminate Jungle Boy. Heather says that doesn't bode well for the Bucks. Kayden Carter gets tagged in. Big kick by Dakota. Good work. Goes over. Tags in Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel comes in. Wardlow is at ringside. This Jungle Boy eliminated. Jungle Boy eliminated. Okay. So, Inner Circle still in there. We've still got 3 Inner Circle members. Raquel Gonzalez working on Kayden Carter. MJF eliminated. MJF eliminated. And Sammy Guevara is applauding. We're down to 1 member of Top Flight. We've got Sammy Guevara and we've got Jericho. Those are the final 3 in this Battle Royal. So 2 members of Inner Circle. 1 member of Top Flight. We're still underway with this match. It's a good little match on NXT. Nice, wow. Head scissor takedown there by Kacy Catanzaro. Double DDT over on AEW. Oh, that finishing move. I'm not a massive fan of it. That move that Kacy Catanzaro does. She kind of just flips and like lands, but there's no grace to the landing. She just, however she lands, she lands. She does a lot of spins and rotations, and then she just lands. If it's her knees, if it's her shins, if it's her midsection, it doesn't seem to matter. 1, 2, 3. The matches finish at the exact same moment. Jericho has won the Battle Royal, so MJF and Jericho are the winners. Over on NXT, it's Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. So, there we go. Both matches finishing at the exact same time. I would have rather the Dark Order had won that, but hey-ho. Raquel carries Jobber Kai again. Such a weird thing, isn't it? As soon as the match was over, Dakota Kai jumps onto Raquel Gonzalez, and she just kind of holds her there. I think it's to show off Raquel Gonzalez's strength, but it just looks weird, and it doesn't look, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez are advancing to the final. So they are in the final. And they will face either Shotzi and Ember or Candice and Indy Hartwell. So we're down to 3 teams left. So there we go. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez will face either Shotzi and Ember or Candice and Indy. It's cool, isn't it? It's good. It's going well. Why has Beth got a picture of Hacksaw? Oh. It's because Wade Barrett is now a US citizen. So they've got him a picture of Hacksaw Jim Duggan and they've given him an apple pie. That's fun. Oh! It's not even a signed picture. I mean, you would think they've got connections. They could have got him a signed picture of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. We're looking at Jade Cargill. Bad news, Barrett. Gonzalez with a much safer slam than Nia Jax on Dana. I say replace Jax with Gonzalez. Well, we're just seeing. We're just looking at Toni Storm actually, who I love the fact she's a heel now. We're looking at Jade Cargill over on AEW, who definitely looks the part. Definitely looks the part. Just don't know if she can go in the ring, that's all. But she looks incredible. I like that. That's a good logo as well. It says Jade. It's got a picture of her silhouette and she's holding lightning. Very CM Punk. Beach Break is what this is called. We are going to be seeing Austin Theory next, actually. So it looks like he won't be interrupting Edge. Right, both shows have gone to commercial. Both shows very enjoyable. Didn't know which way that tag team battle royal was going to go. As I said, I wanted Dark Order. They've ended up going with Jericho and MJF. That's fine. I mean, you've got to do something with Jericho at Revolution, and if that's the match they're going to put him in, then so be it. So they win the battle royal. Over on NXT, I thought the women's tag match was great. From what I saw, obviously I'm watching both shows, but from the bits I saw, I thought it was really good. Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez winning. I think that's cool. It's all good, man. It's all positive. It's a good night so far. 20 minutes in as well. 20 minutes down, nearly a quarter of the way through the show. I can see people over on the fight chat saying Jade is the new China. She did look good there. Jade needs to learn to wrestle before airing these hype promos. I don't know where she is with her wrestling. I understand that she is, she comes out of Cody's wrestling school, but I don't know how advanced she is. So I don't know. I don't know. She might be great. She might be rubbish. I don't know. I can't say. I fear she's going to be not ready. That's my fear. My fear is they've got this incredible looking woman and they've rushed her. We'll have to see. No denying she looks incredible. She looks like $1 billion. Like, you build a fantastic women's division, she could be at the absolute summit of it. But yeah, she needs to know how to wrestle. Pretty decent match for NXT, says Austin. Monica, shout out to you. Obviously, we found out yesterday. Monica, Triple T, having dinner together. Are you going to be streaming NXT TakeOver? I think so. The only thing that would be a problem is if it clashes with, like, UFC. But even then, I would try to do both. But, yeah, there's no denying UFC is on fire at the moment. Absolute fuss. So excited. We didn't get it this past weekend. Thankfully, we had the Royal Rumble. So, you know, we had other things. But it is back on Saturday with a big main event. Always fun to see Alistair Overeem, who is making that final, you'd have to think, final push towards the title. Don't know that he's going to get there. And even if he does, I don't expect him to win it. But it's fun watching his journey as he tries to get back up there. Of course, the heavyweight division is on fire with John Jones and Stipe and Francis Ngannou and Darby Allin has come out now for AEW. So looks like we're getting Darby Allin and Sting. So, Darby Allin coming out. We're obviously building towards Revolution and the street fights. It's going to be Darby Allin and Sting taking on, is it Ricky Starks and Brian Cage? I've seen some clips on Jade's Instagram from about a year ago. She looked really good back then, so she should be solid a year later, says Daniel. That's interesting. Lauren says NXT TakeOver is on a Sunday. Oh, well, that's good. That shouldn't clash with anything then. We got Edge backstage with William Regal. William Regal chatting away with Edge, which is great to see. Those two obviously have known each other, been around each other for a long time. So Edge just catching up with Regal. It's nice to see. Hey, is this going to be Leon Ruff taking on Austin Theory? Because I'm definitely here for this match. I'm definitely here for this match. These two. You want to talk about how Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley are the future of women's wrestling? You're looking at the future of men's wrestling right here. Both of these can go on to become massive, massive stars. Austin Theory with Johnny Gargano. Can you imagine when they face each other? Because they will turn on each other. I am here for this match, man. I am so here for this match. Austin Theory versus Leon Ruff. This is exactly what NXT should be about. This is exactly what NXT, like the developmental NXT. Team Taz are interrupting. Team Taz says they're not even allowed in the building. Right, we're underway. Leon Ruff and Austin Theory. Look at the size of Brian Cage. Absolute monster he is. Can you believe Leon Ruff has only been wrestling for 3 years? It's incredible. It is incredible. Up. On his feet. Duck underneath. Against the ropes. Crossbody caught by Austin Theory. Nice fall away slam, but Leon Ruff lands on his feet. Lovely single leg drop kick. Duck underneath. Roll up. Kip up by Leon Ruff. Look at that. Look at the speed of motion. So fast. He is a smaller guy. But maybe he could do with building up like a bit of muscle definition. Just to make him look a little more impressive. That might be the only kind of thing I'd say about Leon Ruff. I mean, in-ring, so good. Look at his facials. Look at his selling at the moment as well. Big strike to the back of Leon Ruff by Austin Theory. Sting is going to say a few words on AEW. Into the corner goes Leon Ruff. This is going to be a great match, says Wrestling Days fan. Gargano is incredibly sexy, says Austin. Why is Days marking out over Leon Ruff versus Austin Theory? Because I think they're both incredible talents. I think they are, for me, what we just saw with Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. You could run that exact same story with Austin Theory and Leon Ruff. You could do that at next year's Royal Rumble. We get down to 2. They eliminate Seth or someone like that. And we're down to these 2. And one of these is going to go on to main event WrestleMania. Maybe not next year's Rumble. Maybe in a couple of years' time. But I genuinely see him being at that same level. I do think, like Leon Ruff, the only concern is that when it comes to the male wrestlers, the smaller guys struggle in Vince's eyes. I think Theory's got a decent size about him. I don't think Theory is too small. But Leon Ruff is quite small. That's the only downside. It's a problem when it comes to the male division. Big forearm strikes. Just got a little video package now about Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. I'm not sure when we're getting that match, but I can't wait for that match either. Leon Ruff on the shoulders of Austin Theory. Leon Ruff trying to get Theory down. Theory just grabs him. I feel like Theory has really built up his muscle mass. Oh, just a 2 count for Leon Ruff. Straight to the midsection. And again. Big strikes to the midsection. Going up top. Against the ropes goes Leon Ruff. Forearm strike. Duck underneath. Against the ropes again. Another forearm strike. Lovely low kick. Takes the base away from Austin Theory. Knee strike as well. Theory down in the corner. It's not a bad match, this. And it looks like we are going to Britt Baker Thunder Rosa. Oh, wow. This might be one of my favourite Wednesday nights. What a match this is going to be. Johnny Gargano getting involved, but Leon Ruff is able to deal with that. He goes up top. Lovely missile drop kick. Austin Theory goes down. Johnny gets involved again. He gets knocked down by Leon Ruff. Duck underneath. Against the ropes. Duck underneath again. They both shoulder tackle each other, and Leon Ruff goes to the outside. Britt Baker making her way down with Reba. Candice and Indy picking up. Oh no, here comes Ember and there's too much, man. I just wanted a great match between Leon Ruff and Austin Theory, and then we're getting like all these people coming down. Thankfully, they've all just took everyone away. Leon Ruff doing a bit of an Eddie Guerrero there, pretending that he got hit in the face. And he's getting thrown from ringside. Johnny Gargano. Look at Leon Ruff laughing his head off. Leon Ruff laughing his head off at the fact he's just got Johnny kicked out. Did that ref not see? All right, well, look. We've had a lot of silliness and a lot of carnage, but whatever's happened, we've got down to one-on-one, and that's all I wanted. So now we're just going to see a straight match. Oh, look at that move! Beautiful! Springboard into a stunner right by the ropes. On the ropes. On the ropes. We've got Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. I can't even bring myself to watch this match that I'm desperate to watch. And I am going to watch it because I am desperate to watch it. Knee strike to the midsection by Britt Baker on Thunder Rosa. Leon Ruff going over the top. Crossbody to the outside. Gets caught by Austin. Planted on the barricade. Has Thunder Rosa got like a Wonder Woman vibe? She's got like blue trunks and red kick pads. Oh, Leon Ruff gets planted. 1, 2, 3. I tell you, that's the only downside, is the fact that they just managed to get rid of all the outside interference, and then it's literally just seconds later it's over. Like, I would have appreciated 5 more minutes on that match. 5 more minutes on that match. Austin Theory wins. Austin Theory wins. The match was fine. There was a lot of, like, extra stuff happening. And honestly, I would have just wanted a straight one-on-one. Over on AEW, Thunder Rosa going for the cover. Trying to throw in some ground and pound. Britt Baker covering up. New ring attire for Rosa. Yeah, I think it's got like a Wonder Woman vibe. That's the vibe that I'm getting from it. Theory wins. Big Fish, Little Fish. Shout out to you. Monica King says 2 great matches. Dexter Loomis. Dexter Loomis. Dexter Loomis out of nowhere grabs Austin Theory. Does he just rip some hair out of his head? That's a lot of hair. I don't even think his hair's that long. Did he get that hair out of his head? I suppose his hair is that long. Okay. Right, Britt Baker has got Thunder Rosa over in the corner. I love Reba, man. Reba really adds to Britt Baker's character. She's like a little cheerleader, isn't she? She's just shouting and cheering. She's swinging this like cloth in the background. Right, on the outside, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa on her knees, kick to the face. Over by the railings. Britt Baker, forearm strike. Getting back into the ring. Thunder on her... Britt Baker on her knees. Thunder back up to her feet. Forearm strike again. Into the railings goes Thunder. Britt Baker certainly enjoying herself. Just got a video package on Santos Escobar over on NXT. Into the edge of the ring goes Britt Baker. So Thunder Rosa starting to fire back. Charging into Britt Baker. Thunder rolls into the ring. Uppercut by Thunder Rosa. She throws Britt Baker into a railing. She goes hard. We've got a little... Is this an advert for NXT UK? Elia. Oh, yeah, it is. They're just showing a little advert for NXT UK. NXT UK tomorrow. Streaming only on the WWE Network. Very cool. And we go to commercial break. I thought Elia was coming to NXT then. Right, we've got Britt Baker. NXT has gone to commercial break. That means we can focus all of our attention now onto AEW. Thunder Rosa in control. I can see Damian Priest being a decent future champion. J14 says, I love both Britt and Rosa, but I think I'm going for Britt slightly more. William, motionless. Shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate the kind words. Sonny says, as soon as this stream is done, I'm going to go to sleep. Are you feeling tired, Sonny? Have you had a big day? What have you been up to? Still to come, we got the wedding. Kicks to the midsection by Thunder Rosa. Has Edge been on yet? Asks Lang Elite. Not yet, my friend. No, we have seen him backstage with William Regal. But, yeah, we haven't seen him out doing anything yet. NXT at commercial break. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, there's been a lot of action outside the ring. If they're going to give this match some time, this match could be awesome. Because they've really laid a lot of foundation here. They've really done a lot of work of, like, wearing each other down outside the ring. There's a lot of stuff outside the ring. A lot of stuff with the railings. They keep coming in the ring, out the ring. And as you said, you know, there's a lot of, not big spots. Just a lot of foundation work. A lot of selling. You got Thunder Rosa on her knees, kind of slumped down. It's been a real war. Kick to the face by Britt Baker as well. Strike to the midsection by Thunder. Britt Baker with a big strike. She's looking for a swinging net breaker. 1, 2. Just a 2 count for Britt Baker there. Pace not the quickest at the moment. But that's absolutely fine. As I said, as long as this match is going to get time. If it's going to end in a few minutes, I think people would be a little disappointed. But if it's going to go for another 8 minutes or so. It is outside the ring right now. Here we go. Plants Britt Baker. Rosa is down. Look at Reba. Screaming down the camera. I do love her. She's a lot of fun. Thunder Rosa getting into the ring. Britt Baker getting back into the ring as well. Britt Baker in one corner, Thunder Rosa in the other. Thunder charging over, collides into Britt Baker. Britt Baker goes down. This is going to be double knees. Boom. By Thunder. The roll. Is this going to be the missile drop kick? Oh, I love that move. I love that move. That is sick, man. And she really delivers it. What? What's this? What are we seeing on NXT? An older son, a younger daughter. It's the Chinese. This is great. It's like a flipping fable. Feel like I'm watching the start of a really cool video game on NXT. It is. They're talking about, like, dragons and all this. The animation on this is beautiful. The dragon put Mei Ying through trials. She was reborn as a warrior. Mei Ying destroyed her brother and restored honor to her family.
Going Ghost is a legend. They donated $2 via a super chat. Shout out to you. Hope you are well, my friend.
Oh my god, this woman's a killer. Oh my god, the backstory there was incredible. That was incredible. Beth says, so you're telling me we're meant to believe that that woman sitting in the chair is thousands of years old? No, she's not, but it's an incredible backstory. Doesn't have to be that it's a true story. It could be that the person sitting in that chair has been inspired by that story, or that's the story that they've created for themselves. I definitely don't want NXT giving us someone that's thousands of years old. Let's get that clear, right? But that is a great story. And if that is, like, the backstory or what has inspired that character, and that's what the character is based on, that is sick, man. That is sick. Let me be clear. I do not want that character being thousands of years old, right? But as I said, if that is, like, a traditional fable, and that is what the character is based on, I'm down for that, man. I'm down for that. Couldn't quite see who it was. I don't know if I would even know who it was, to be perfectly honest. But you got to see the face, but there was obviously a lot of makeup on the face, and the hair was still slightly obscuring, but we got a good look there. That is incredible. That is great storytelling. Animation on that was beautiful. It was like the start of a video game. Over on AEW, this match is incredible as well, by the way. I did say they'd laid a lot of foundation work, and I was hoping they'd go for another 8 minutes or so. I think we have done another 5 since I said that. Reba's coming in. She's ripped off the middle turnbuckle. Roll up by Britt Baker. 2. Kick out by Thunder. I hope it doesn't go supernatural, says LSW. Yeah. I mean, I love that backstory. I think it's so interesting. I think that it can, as I said, it could be true, but, you know, it could turn out that she's reenacted it. She could be, like, a copycat kind of a thing, you know? She could have, like, she could be so psychologically damaged. She believes that she is that character from this famous fable. And she may have killed her own brother. And she may have took on that form And now she's like recreating this fable, and she's like psychologically damaged. That would be incredible. Britt Baker has won this match, and I really didn't give it the attention that it deserved. But I mean, honestly, NXT put up some incredible content opposite it. We had Leon Ruff against Austin Theory, which I was really into, and then that incredible fate. If you haven't actually seen it, you've got to see it. We've got an AEW official in there, just checking on Thunder Rosa. Britt Baker has won. There was a little bit of outside interference in that match. It's a big win, that, for Britt Baker. I hope she is genuinely all right. That's good, man. It does make this seem like a war, doesn't it? I mean, seeing her getting carried out like that. Good.
Wacky Niribi
Good.
is a legend. They donated $1.99 via a super chat. It could be mind games like Undertaker.
Yeah. I mean, look, let's not start that whole conversation again. Yeah. I mean, nothing's happened, by the way. All they've said is that it's based or you know, the backstory is like, you know, thousands of years old. And I really love the fact that the first thing Beth said is, we're meant to believe this is persons from thousands of years ago. Like, I love the fact that Beth straight away came in and went, what? This is what? So, you know, I think too many times they make the commentators seem stupid. I respect the fact they haven't done that with this story. So we'll see where it goes. Right now, I'm on board, man. They've done nothing wrong. They've shown us a great, like, story that this could be based on. Animation was incredible. The story was gripping as well. Seeing her sitting there in the chair with Xia Li and Boa standing next, like the three of them, they look like killers. They look like absolute killers. Yeah, they look like no one in the world could stop them. And that's how it should be. I mean, they are making that group feel huge. I'm here for it as well. Right, Hangman making his way down. Hangman and Matt Hardy. I don't know if you saw the Matt Hardy video he put out, but he was like, I'm so pleased that I've inspired so many people recently. And then he showed footage of the cart, the golf cart. Because obviously a lot of people have been complaining and moaning, saying that they copied AEW, blah, 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 blah. And Matt Hardy jumping on that, saying, I'm so pleased that I have inspired people. I am so much more into big money Matt. So much more into this. Don't you think it's interesting that Matt Hardy was doing the 2,000-year-old Damascus, changing clothes underwater, doing all of that kind of stuff? And now he's decided that not to do that anymore. And now he's doing this big money Matt instead, which I much prefer. I just find it interesting that he has moved away from that. Hayden Garrett, shout out to you. Austin says Xia Li should go to Raw.
Hayden Garrett is a legend. They donated $5 New Zealand via a super chat. Breaking news: Man McGarrett received a phone call from the hospital. My surgery will taking place Wednesday, 24th March next month.
That's cool. Well, at least you got a date, bud. So shout out to you, my friend. Let us know, obviously, closer to the time. Because people will, of course, want to be sending you best wishes and everything. But that's good. You got a date, isn't it? You got a date sorted. I know that you was waiting for that. Right, over on NXT, we've got Lucha House Party taking on Legado del Fantasma. Over on AEW, we've got Matt Hardy and Hangman Page. They're going to be taking on the Chaos Project. And I'm guessing we're at commercial breaks at the moment. We're just watching Matt Hardy and Hangman Page walking around a ring. So I'm guessing we're at commercial break, and we are just waiting to come back so that we can bring out Chaos Project. Either that or Chaos Project are like massive divas, and they're just making us all wait. Big crossbody by Lindsay. What have I missed on NXT? Not a bad match between Austin Theory and Leon Ruff. I think if they were to face at TakeOver without outside interference, it could be epic. But it was all right all the same. Dakota Kai has beaten, and Raquel Gonzalez have beaten Kayden and Kacy, and they've gone through to the final of the Dusty Rhodes Classic. And an incredible little backstory animation talking about the I can't remember what she's called, the Xia Li Boa faction. I'll have to watch that again because I missed the start of it and I didn't quite catch the name. I can't remember. Maybe they missed their cue, says Jaden. Well, they're out now. Luther and Serpentico. Chaos Project. Days, I think Damascus was knocked out of Matt Hardy when he faced Sammy Guevara, thus allowing one of his other personalities to emerge and take the steering wheel for a while. Yeah, but he didn't have to be knocked out, did he? Sure, that's the story that they're telling, but they could have booked anything. And I just think it's interesting that they decided to get rid of Damascus. They decided to knock him out and to bring in Big Money Matt instead. Really good promo from Big Money Matt. There was, as I said, I retweeted it. He's in a figure room. It's a sick room as well. It's a whole kind of wall of Matt Hardy merch, Matt Hardy figures. It looks awesome. It looks like a shop. I thought he was in a shop. It's just like Smith's. It's like from floor to ceiling, this massive shelving unit and everything full of figures. All Matt Hardy figures. And yeah, it looked great. Looked really cool. And he was cutting this very arrogant, very heelish promo. It was good. It was so good, I retweeted it. Kick out by Serpentico. Nice moonsault, says Austin 316. Jaden says, I do love this Big Money Matt character. It's like he's gone enough messing about time to take it serious now. I really like it. The only thing I would say is that he just needs good creative. I feel like it's a decent character. I feel like it's a character that could definitely offer something, but he's got to do something with it. That's going to come down to the booking. If they're not going to book him and put him in programs, and you know, you could have him working with a young talent, Big Money Matt against someone, you know. Anyway, Legado del Fantasma has won. They are progressing. They are going to be taking on MSK. So MSK taking on Legado del Fantasma in the semi-final. And MSK's entrance music hits. They make their way out. I like these guys. Solid tag team. As I said, they remind me a lot of like American Alpha, DIY. They're like a proper team. You know, like, you remember when, like, those NXT TakeOver tag matches were, like, always amongst the highlights? You had American Alpha against the Revival, or you had DIY taking on Authors of Pain, or, do you know what I mean? Like, they were always top matches. They always used to open the show, steal the show. I feel like MSK is going to bring that back. I feel like MSK is definitely getting through to the final. We are about 5 minutes away from halftime scores. I think both shows have been very solid tonight. We are seeing Pete Dunne arrive with Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. I'd completely forgotten they were the tag champs. Completely forgotten they were the tag champs. Danny Burch, Oni Lorcan, Pete Dunne have arrived at the Capitol Wrestling Center. Hangman Page looking for the buckshot lariat, but Luther pulls his leg away. Luther, cannonball. No one home. And he's going for that buckshot lariat again. Boom! Connects. In comes Big Money Matt, who just tagged himself in and gets the win. Big Money Matt gets the pin and the win. And I got to tell you that Hangman Page doesn't look happy at all. Hangman Page does not look happy at all. Big Money Matt saying, come on, let's celebrate. Look at what we've just achieved. There we go. This clearly isn't a united team. Hikaru Shida. We've got the Women's World Championship tournament coming up. Matches are going to come from the US and from Japan. Aja Kong! Aja Kong! Yuka Sakazaki. Veni. I've never heard of Veni. Emi Sakura. Riho. Oh, man, I don't know some of these. Maki Ito. Serena Deeb, Riho, Britt Baker, Tay Conti, Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose, Anna Jay, Layla Hirsch. Man, that tournament's going to be sick. I can't wait for the Japanese side. Loads of people there that I've not heard of. Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian getting married next. Right, we are going to commercial breaks a little bit early. We won't do it yet. We won't do the halftime scores yet. We're still a bit before. I'd rather wait till after. Riho in the US. Yeah, that was quite a surprise, wasn't it? Perhaps she's in the US and she's got no plans to go back to Japan. So... be a bit cruel to send her back to Japan just to do this. I was hoping that there would be some Impact Women stars, mainly Rosemary, says Jim. Theory seriously reminds me of Cena when he debuted versus Angle. Liam Clark, shout out to you. I love these streams. It's more relaxed on a Wednesday. Yeah, it is. It is more relaxed. It's definitely more wrestling focused. I mean, we still have fun, but there's not really as much stuff to have fun with. NXT doesn't really do comedy all that much. AEW do. It can be a little hit and miss sometimes. But, yeah, I mean, what you are guaranteed is just great wrestling. I mean, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, brilliant. Theory, Leon Ruff, yeah, fine. I didn't quite reach the levels I wanted, but fine. Tag Team Battle Royal was all right as well. I mean, like, yeah, it's just been solid, man. And now we got Pete Dunne coming down. So Pete Dunne making his way down with Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. The Bruiserweight. They are doing a good job of making Pete Dunne feel like a big deal. And he is a big deal. This is like the next step for him. He's a great wrestler. He's someone who, you know, did a great job when he was NXT UK champion. I told Finn Balor to his face that I'm not waiting anymore. So last week I delivered the message again. Don't force me to make it any more clear than that. His promos just lack punch. I mean, he tried to put punch into it there. But the end of the promo, he's got promo problems. I do think the accent's a problem. His promos feel forced. We're backstage on AEW with Jericho and MJF. Pete Dunne in the ring with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. They're about to jump out of the ring. They're just going to leave the ring to Pete Dunne and Balor. When he delivers a promo, every line feels like it's a promo line. I don't feel like he's actually really saying these words. I'd much rather he said, like, Finn, you need to hold on to that belt tight. I've worked too hard to get hit. Something along those, like, I want to feel like he's meaning what he's saying. Here's Edge. Edge is making his way out. Wow. How cool is this? Pete Dunne in the ring. Balor in the ring. They were going back and forth. Edge is here. I expected Edge to address Balor. A few people in the chat saying, could Edge have a match with Pete Dunne? They're setting up the wedding over on AEW. Feel sorry for them. I should imagine even their families are turning over right now to watch Edge. Edge is on NXT. Edge says this feels good. I like that from Edge. He says a lot of the time in WWE, we put the focus on the E, but here, it's on that second W. I see fire in eyes. This place helped me find my passion. This place helped me get my career back. Is he going to say he was inspired by NXT? I used that passion to win the Rumble. It's good, man. It's great to see Edge. By winning that, I can challenge any champion in this company. Challenge Volta.
Paul Roman is a legend.
Paul Roman.
He donated $5 via a super chat. Days your friends here in the States have deemed you the only true champ.
Oh, thank you for the kind words, dude. Really appreciate it. Shout out to you, Paul Roman. I hope you are enjoying this. Edge cutting a promo on Balor and Pete Dunne. Edge says he looks at Balor and he sees someone operating on a different level. Putting him over, man. I'm going to be watching your match at TakeOver. Because I've never had that. And he points at the NXT Championship. But he's going to reveal who he's facing before. Edge says that's intriguing. Edge says he might not have made his choice by TakeOver? What? I thought he was making it on Friday. So he's not going to make his choice on Friday? He says, if I haven't made my choice by TakeOver, your match might help me make my mind. And there we go. Look, we got Pete Dunne face-to-face with Finn. I mean, what? Can we just all agree what match that is going to be? That is going to be sickening. We might have to cancel wrestling because I don't know if it's going to get better than that. Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne. Flipping crazy. Oh, what the hell's going on, AEW? What's this? Penelope Ford looks nice. I like that better, to be honest. Is Emperor Ming marrying them? Yes, Ming. Ming the Merciless is marrying. Apparently, this is a real wedding. We are really watching two people getting married. It's like Captain Lou Albano's had like some kind of a... if Captain Lou Albano had a midlife crisis or an end-of-life crisis and started dressing like Ming the Merciless. Apparently their families are watching this, and apparently this is a real wedding. Even if this is a real wedding, I don't care. Okay, well, NXT has gone to commercial break. Will Edge actually challenge Finn? No, I don't think so. The only thing I was quite interested in is what if he chooses to go for like the SmackDown title at WrestleMania? Would anyone stop him still going for the NXT one? If he wanted to. If he challenges Finn Balor's accepting. Okay. Lana in a movie Friday, March 12th called Cosmic Sin. Oh. Wedding rings. Monica King says no one cares. Jonathan says nice eyebrows. Do you look at eyebrows? I never look at eyebrows. I do look at them on Ming the Merciless. I get what you're saying. If all of a sudden I've realised you're probably talking about him. For a second I was like, are you talking about Kip Sabian? Are you talking about me? Thank you. I mean, honestly. I do absolutely nothing to them. All natural. Natural. That's what they are. Is someone going to say no? Do you reckon they've told us this is a real wedding? Why would they say no? I mean, they both seem quite happy. Unless someone comes out and claims they've been having an affair. I don't know. With wrestling, you always expect something. I can't imagine this is just going to be a wedding. Even though I've been told it is a real wedding. Well, Kipper said that he does. And the ring is on the finger. Say no. Say no. Say no. Say no. To have and to grope. This is painful. Oh, she said she does. Right, are we going to get to the good bit? Now, if there is anyone, if there's anyone. No. Miro's like, no, no. I've been there. We're not asking that question. We're not asking that question. Let's close the deal. Guys, let's close the deal. You may now kiss the ball and chain. Wonderful. And there we go. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, AEW. Thanks for this absolutely fantastic content. The devilish eyebrows guy gives me the heebie-jeebies. He looks like a total creep. Well, okay. Miro. Could he have done something to the champagne? Could he have done something to the champagne? Consuming alcohol on television. Days, do you think they will have Seth versus Roman at Mania because of Heyman's comments to Big E about the Shield? Don't think so. I think it's going to be Edge. Does this count as a special Rusev Day, says John? Yeah, that's a rubbish present. Yeah, there is a big present in the corner. So, Chuck has brought a present. It's a human-sized present. We're seeing Kushida feuding with Johnny Gargano here backstage on NXT. Ah, good. I like the fact he's attacked it. That's good. I like that. Miro says, I don't even want to know what was inside, but it wasn't a person. Good double swerve. Credit. You see, the thing with this is you are just constantly waiting for something. We're going to see Jesse in action. I like Jesse. I don't like a ring attire, but I like Jesse. Right, now we got Miro singing. Now that's the gift. Is it Camilla? Against Tony Storm, man. This should be fun. I really like Tony Storm as a heel. Miro has been chained to the corner. Penelope Ford's gone face first into a cake. It's not that bad. You can wipe that off. I don't understand. I don't know what I'm watching now. This is awful. This is an awful segment. This is WWE. Okay. Just awful. Is this a shoot or a work? It's just awful. Orange Cassidy has popped out of the cake. We're underway with Toni Storm and Jessie. Nice kick there by Jessie. Toni Storm goes over to the corner. Nice kick to the midsection by Jessie. They're giving Jessie some offense here on NXT. We got about 45 minutes to go. I got to tell you, I think this wedding has really sucked the life out of the night. There's probably people that are into it, but... Against the ropes, Jessie holds on. Lovely kick by Jessie. I do like Jessie. She's got a good look. She's got a good size. Mercedes Martinez has jumped into the ring. Jessie, Oh, okay. Well, they've done a decent job there with Jessie. They've not buried her. She still wants to fight. Look, and Robert Stone and Aaliyah trying to get Jessie away from Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. Io Shirai's made her way down. Io Shirai obviously has been champion for a little while now. Io Shirai just sat on the top watching. Io just watching all this carnage unfold. Headbutt by Toni Storm. Io going over. Looking for a moonsault. Moonsault lands on Toni and Mercedes Martinez. I don't know where Jessie went. I mean, she's not really the focus here, so they've got her out of the way. We're building towards a triple threat. Mercedes Martinez, Toni Storm, and Io Shirai. Can we get Miro a new gimmick, please? Says Heather. Love EO, says David. BB says, great segment, just a lot of boring people who don't like it. Well, I don't know what was great about it. It was just lots of cringy lines. They kissed in a cringy way. Miro got handcuffed to the corner. Orange Cassidy popped out of a cake. I mean, it's just... I don't know, man. It's very WWE. I mean, you have to expect some of that kind of outside interference during a wedding, but it wasn't even very original. What, someone popping out of the cake? I like the double swerve where you thought someone could have been in the present. I like that. But, I don't know, man. There's nothing original about that. Right, NXT has gone to commercial break where we might be at commercial break for AEW as well. So start getting your scores in for the shows. Days wishes that he was Jessie's girl. I really like her. I do like her. I say that every week. I think she's big. She's very tall. She's got a good look about her, a good size to her. She's been training for quite a few years now, so I would kind of hope that she could put a match together. I'd kind of hope that training is going to pay off eventually. They seem to think now is the time to push her or to start moving with her. So let's see. Alex says, look like Mercedes Martinez got really hurt by that moonsault. Liam says NXT 8. Sandman says NXT 8. Brent Lanning says, Miro jumped out of the cake. It was a same stupid, awful, awful, awful. 0 out of 10. Brent, hope you are well, bud. Scott, NXT 8.25. Owen says NXT 8. Kyle says NXT 7. Lone Star Friend says AEW 5. Austin says NXT 7, AEW 5. William Hensey, that's a wild question. Sure, why not? AEW 3, NXT 8 from Out Tour. Hayden says NXT 775, AEW 5.05. Shaquem says AEW 5.9, NXT 5. 1987 Big Fan says NXT 6, AEW 5. Sunny Wolf says NXT 7, AEW 5. Lewis says NXT, was that an 8? Jump back over. C Wrestling, shout out to you, says NXT 8, AEW 5. Trey Gaming says NXT 7.8, AEW 6. Austin says NXT 7, AEW 5. Daniel says NXT 8.25, NXT 6. Heather says, why is AEW circling the drain tonight? J14 says AEW 6.5, NXT 7.5. Esteban says AEW 8 brackets wedding not included. Says AEW 5, NXT 7. We've got Shaq is, I don't know what Shaq's doing here. He's just swinging away on some TNT inside the NBA thing. Shaq and Jade Cargill taking on Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet. Okay. March 3rd. So they're putting him in a tag match. They're putting him in there with Jade Cargill, who we've never seen in action, and we don't even know if she can have a good, solid match. Backing her up is going to be Shaq. That could be an absolute car crash, that match. NXT was better than AEW. William Hensey said, Days, it happened in Canada. A puma male and a leopard female have mated and had kittens. Oh, there we go. AEW 8, NXT 6.5, says Philip. Brent said, Eddie Kingston is the Kevin Owens of AEW. Right, well, we are back. I think most people are preferring NXT tonight. But let's see. We've got a Lumberjack match coming up now. Archer versus Kingston in a Lumberjack match. Over on NXT, we have got... Is this a Cruiserweight Championship match? Curt Stallion, who I really know little to nothing about, taking on Santos Escobar. Right, we're already outside the ring on AEW. Butcher and Blade getting involved. Both guys getting back into the ring. Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston. I can't say I'm too excited about Santos Escobar taking on Curt Stallion. This isn't a match that I'm crazy for. I'm sure they're both talented, but it doesn't really do it for me. Big melee outside the ring right now. We've got Eddie Kingston out there. Lots of people just, of course, over the top. On top of a load of people. We get that multi-man spot outside the ring. Suppose it was to be expected from a Lumberjack match. So, bodies everywhere. Carnage everywhere. We just got over half an hour. We got about 35 minutes or so. Austin316, shout out to you. Days, I'd love to see you book your dream WWE AEW card. We could talk about that in the future. I think it'd be, I'd want to sit down and really give some time to it. So, I don't know, maybe that'd be a fun subject for next week. I definitely think there'd be some incredible matches that you could do. What would be your big match, Brent? What would be the one match that you would want to see above all else? What would be the big one? Curt Stallion is urging Santos Escobar to come out of the corner. Santos taking his time. I think Keith Lee and Mia's relationship is a lot like that Puma and the Leopard. Jim Gore says Jordan Devlin is the cruiserweight champ. Wow, super blurry days. Yes. They've kind of got the two belts going at the moment, haven't they? I personally would have them combine them. Again, find out who is the real cruiserweight champion. If you want a mid-card title for NXT UK, go for something different. Unless you do a cruiserweight championship on every brand, and the smaller guys compete for that, and then you could have like the champions facing each other every now and again. I don't know. Lots of cruiserweight champions. I don't know. I feel like there should just be one. I explored the idea and I didn't like it. So, headbutt by Eddie Kingston. Both guys are in the ring right now. Lance Archer down on his knees. Lance Archer getting fired up. Poke to the eye by Eddie Kingston. Stretch being applied by Santos Escobar. Days, would you like to see Ray or Dominic versus Escobar? Yeah, sure. I mean, Ray would be incredible. Dominic would make sense. That'd be fine. Ray would be awesome. Santos Escobar against Ray, that would be awesome. Dominic just doesn't really have the star power yet, does he? Anyone interested in a Days group chat on Facebook? Oh, yes, Tyler. I did get asked to mention that. There is apparently a Days community over on Facebook, so shout out to everyone there. I am never over on Facebook. I don't even post that much on Facebook anymore. So, yeah, my Facebook presence is pretty much non-existent. Nothing personal. I just tend to spend my time on Twitter and YouTube. And honestly, it's just time, isn't it? Trying to juggle everything. I mean, I don't even do that much on Instagram. I do very little on Instagram. I probably should step up my social media game. But, yeah, shout out. Apparently, there is a little community over there for people that are on Facebook more so than any of the other social medias. Watching this match, was that Scarlett? Is Karrion Kross interested in becoming the Cruiserweight Champion? See, we just got a flash of what I believe was Scarlett there. Yeah, and it is. Santos what's going on? What is this? What are Scarlett's intentions? Santos Escobar. That was weird, wasn't it? He just kind of looked at him and he was like, ugh. Well, he's getting distracted by her. She can watch. Nice slap there by Lance Archer. The bunny has jumped onto the back of Lance Archer. She's screaming her head off here. Spinning back fist by Eddie Kingston. So we are still underway with this. Santos Escobar dumped out of the ring. Lance Archer out of the ring as well. So I think we're about to go. He is really distracted by her. Okay, so we've gone to commercial break. Kingston with Lance Archer, middle of the ring, looking to put him away. A couple of back elbows. Worth mentioning that Jake the Snake is at ringside as well. Against the ropes goes Lance Archer. Butcher with a big forearm strike. One. Just a one count for Kingston. Kingston can't believe it. Curt the Italian Stallion, says Kyle. NXT UK's mid-card title should be based around Queensbury rules. Is Lumberjack no DQ? Why is all hell breaking loose? Well, they do tend to. I mean, I don't know. We've got someone setting up a table now. I'm not sure this is allowed. Yeah, I mean, like, it is all hell now. I don't even know who these people are. Who's this guy? Bear Country. I don't know anything about Bear Country. William Hensey does. I don't know anything about Bear Country. We've got an upside down table, which looks a bit dangerous in the corner. Lance Archer planting Eddie Kingston. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by Eddie Kingston. Big strikes to the midsection. Goes for a spinning back fist. Goes for a clothesline. In the corner goes Kingston. Archer going over. Big forearm strike. He's going for blackout on Eddie Kingston. It's impressive, man, if he can hit it. And he does. He gets it. 1, 2, 3. Lance Archer beats Eddie Kingston. Lance Archer beats Eddie Kingston. Austin says, I want to see Bray Wyatt and Roman main event WrestleMania one day. It would drive me nuts if they haven't. I want it so bad. Archer versus Priest would be an awesome matchup, says Brent Lannin. Liam Clark says, Kenny Omega versus Daniel Bryan crossed my mind. Omega versus Roman. I don't know if Roman would know what to do with someone like Kenny. David Paul says Bear Country have been used a lot on AEW Dark. Right. They look cool. They look like a proper team. They've got matching ring attire and everything. Backstage with FTR right now. See what they're saying. Everyone is scared. So they're talking about how they were suspended and how everyone fears them. Kane versus Brock Lesnar would be good, says Dakota. Omega versus Daniel Bryan would be awesome. That would be awesome. Okay, we are going back to NXT. Exactly half an hour to go. We're still underway with Santos Escobar against Curt Stallion. I do feel like the past half an hour or so has been a bit more of a struggle. I'm not sure that the Lumberjack match was as great as people wanted. The wedding certainly didn't do it for me. This match wasn't one I was looking forward to anyway. So on NXT. So, yeah, kind of the past half an hour or so. We had a really good start. Everything was like... Psh, 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 psh. Although saying that, coming up next, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers taking on Jon Moxley, Pac, and Rey Fenix. So, big match coming up next. Is this our main event? Because we've had Lance Archer, Eddie Kingston, we've had Hangman, we've had Thunder Rosa, we've had the wedding, we've had the Battle Royal. We might be at main event time. I can't imagine that there'll be something that goes on after that. I don't know what the main event is. Main event for NXT will probably be Undisputed Era against Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. So I think that's what we're looking at for the main event there. I can tell you the best show tonight is this stream, says Brent Lanning. Shout out to you, buddy. Thank you for the kind words. Alexis says, oh my God, they kidnapped that child. We did see a tied up Marco stunt at the end of that FTR promo. Curt Stallion trying to get over to the ropes. Monica King says, I'm excited for this next match. Prime Kane versus Fiend. Who wins? Depends when it's booked. I think if it's booked back in the Attitude Era, then it's Kane. If it's booked now, then it would likely be Fiend. Who's better, AJ or Daniel Bryan? I think that's very hard to say, isn't it? I think I think AJ is much better with his aerial attacks, like the phenomenal forearm, and he tends to go up top a little bit more than what Daniel does. I think both are really good at their transitions, and both are really good at their storytelling. Both are good at their selling. I might be leaning to AJ. Because I think they're very close, but I think AJ's got better aerial attacks. Nice kicks by Santos, but AJ has never connected with the fans on the same level that Daniel did. AJ has never had anything like the yes movement. There's no denying people respect him, and there's no denying that he is main event talent, and there's no denying, but not many people have done what Daniel did in that build to WrestleMania 30. Do you know what I mean? That was... So you could say that AJ is maybe just edges it just when it comes to wrestling. And even then, I wouldn't feel confident saying it out loud. But you can then say, well, no one had the impact that Daniel did. Certainly around WrestleMania 30 time. I mean, that yes movement was so big. They were doing it in other sports. Curt Stallion is firing back some big strikes. Escobar down in the corner. Escobar jumps out of the ring. Suicide dive by Curt Stallion. That's good, isn't it? I mean, suicide dives are overdone, but that was delivered with real venom. Curt Stallion going up top. Next week, we got Joey Janela taking on Darby Allin. TNT Championship. Kick out by Escobar. 1, 2. Just another 2 count. Archer can do whatever he wants. He's awesome. Both are incredible. I think that's what it comes down to, yes. Capsman asks, has Britt Baker wrestled already? Yes, and she was victorious over Thunder Rosa. Suplex into the corner by Santos Escobar. I tell you what, I wasn't into this match. I'm getting into this match. They've been going for quite a while. They've given it some time here. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up by Curt Stallion. So, Darby Allin, Joey Janela, next week. Days, I genuinely believe that this year, boxing fans will cross over to UFC more than ever. I don't think when Conor fights, I think UFC are on fire at the moment, whereas boxing keeps making questionable moves. Boxing's got too big for its own good in the sense of there's too many different organizations. There's too much conflict. There's no, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. Boxing's a mess. Santos Escobar has won. The thing with UFC is they can control everything. It all goes through them. And they're just putting on huge event after huge event. They can just keep delivering, can't they? I mean, if boxing got itself sorted and got itself together, it could rival UFC easily. They've got some big names and big talents, but what they don't have is big regular show on the same channels. It's like different matches, different channels, different organizations, different belts, people avoiding each other. There are stars out there, but they don't do a great job of building them up. Whereas UFC, it's just they can shout with the one voice, you know where to go, you know what to expect. They are on fire. Karrion Kross has come down. Why is Karrion Kross getting involved with Legado del Fantasma? Did they do something to him? I mean, they must have. I mean, Karrion Kross is a killer, isn't he? Karrion Kross looks like a killer. I like how Santos Escobar's not bothered. Santos Escobar's just got his hands on his shoulders, chewing away. What do you want? Not concerned in the slightest. I like this, though. I like the fact he's not concerned. He shouldn't be concerned. Santos Escobar should believe in himself. He should believe he's a killer. I'm giving you time. Run along. You've got more time to think about the inevitable. TikTok. Good promo. Good promo. I mean, like, he just came in. He had a little chat. I believed in what he was saying. And he ended it with his catchphrase. TikTok. That is not what Pete Dunne does. How did she get there? She's in the ring, standing by his side. I don't even know if she's wearing clothes. I mean, honestly. Right, we've got Undisputed Era. Britt Baker is my crush. Adam Cole. And Roderick Strong. Nice camera shot. Black History Month. Undisputed Era versus Thatcher and Ciampa. What a match that is going to be. Cross looks so freaking sexy. You always say that. What does re mean? I don't know. What does re mean? Right. What have we got over on AEW right now? It is Omega and the Good Bros versus Moxley and the Lucha Bros. There's bros everywhere. I'm surprised Riddle's not in this match. Bro. Oh, no. Did I just lose the chat text? Hang on, can I get it back? Woo! It's upside down, but I got it back. Oh, sometimes that's a proper... Oh, no, now it's back to... Oh, my God. Hang on, we can fix this. We can fix this. I'm good at YouTube. There we go. We got there. Okay, we've got some people in the ring already. Who's that?
Eric Defcon Prime Dirigi is a legend. They donated $5 via a super chat. WCW Cruiserweight LS used to cross over with heavyweights all the time. They weren't an exclusive division. Snoochie Boochies.
WCW Cruiserweights were used to cross over with the heavyweights all the time. They weren't an exclusive division. Well, look, if they're moving that way, that's great. It's not really something we've seen WWE do much of. I'm trying to think of, like, previous Cruiserweight champions that have then... I mean, Karrion Kross... How much does he weigh? Do you still have to be 205 to hold the Cruiserweight belt? It doesn't make the most sense, considering where we've been with the Cruiserweight title. But if they're going to rebrand it and use it a different way going forward, I'm here for that. So, yeah, fine. Right, we've got Moxley coming in. Eric says, your text is backwards. Ha ha ha. I know, Eric. I fixed it. No. Did I fix it? Yeah, I fixed it. Stop bullying me. I'm being bullied, guys. There's a lot of bullying going on tonight. Yeah, I do love these Wednesday night streams. They are
Eric
a lot
Defcon
more.
Prime Dirigi is a
Shut
legend.
up!
They donated $2 via a super chat. Your text is backwards. Ha 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 ha.
Joke's on you, I didn't hear it. Right, we are about to get going with the AEW main event. Just as I was saying, yeah, it is good, these Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights, more about wrestling, isn't it, guys? It's more about the wrestling on a Wednesday. Eric Dirigi is a legend. He says your text is backwards. Ha 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 ha. NXT is at commercial break. We've got about 18 minutes to go. We're about to get underway with this. Oh, hello. What's going on there? What's this pack? What am I looking at? So Pac and Phoenix. So it's not the Lucha Bros. Where's Pentagon? Where's Pentagon Jr.? Edge. Edge is about to leave. Oh. Edge. Edge and Karrion Kross. It's going to be me. Oh, he's a good promo, isn't he? He's a good promo, isn't he? Edge says that sounds threatening. Words like that can be motivating. They could motivate me to come back. Edge, Karrion Kross, please. Edge versus Karrion Kross, please. But neither can lose. Finn Balor, Pete Dunne, NXT Championship match at Vengeance. One of the most exciting NXT Championship matches in a long time. I was fine with Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly. But for me, this is next level. I'm really into that main event. Edge and Karrion Kross. Can we just give some respect to Karrion Kross and the fact that he is able to have a very meaningful conversation that sounds threatening, but you genuinely believe what he's saying? He is a very good promo. I haven't heard his promos. Instead, we've been getting Scarlett dancing around like Kate Bush. But hearing him talk now, he is a very good promo. And he was just saying to Edge, you need to think carefully because it won't be Finn Balor or Pete Dunne if you choose NXT. It's going to be me. Time waits for no one, not even the ultimate opportunist. TikTok. I do want that match, but I don't know how you book it. How do you book it? Neither can lose. You can't have Edge lose before WrestleMania. And Karrion Kross, he would have to lose. Karrion Kross would have to lose. You can't have Edge lose before Mania. So Edge would have to beat Karrion Kross, and it'd have to be a respect thing, you know? Well done, kid. You're going to be good one day. But I don't think people would like that. Imagine if Scarlett starts getting involved and Beth Phoenix has to take off and jump over, and Beth Phoenix starts going off on Scarlett. They should book it. Edge wins. Scarlett tries to get involved. Beth does get involved. Oh my God. They should book that. Adam Cole, baby. Wrestling Days fan says, I really want NXT to change their graphics background in the match card. It looks awful. Right, Thatcher on his way and Ciampa on his way as well. To the outside goes Moxley, and he throws Anderson out there also. We're running out of time, man. This is the only problem. We're going to go to another commercial break. We'll have about 10 minutes for this main event. Omega and Moxley on the outside. Omega gets thrown into the railings. No one will survive, says Austin. AEW has got real men on it, says List of Jericho. I don't know, man. Look at Tommaso Ciampa. Look at Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, one of the great wrestlers of this generation. Timothy Thatcher could go on to become that. He's obviously still relatively new, Timothy Thatcher. How long has he been in NXT, Timothy Thatcher? Is it a year now? It's been around for a year? Might be longer thinking about it. I don't know. Big chop by Luke Gallows. No one will survive. Ciampa needs to go bald again, says J14. This is going to be a good match, says Austin. Overrun. What, you think there's an overrun, Robin? Maybe. Yeah, maybe there'll be one. Shoulder tackle by Tommaso. Nice takedown by Tommaso as well. I might be a bit more into NXT than AEW just because AEW doesn't really matter who wins. Whereas this is Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament. So obviously the winners are going to go forward. I can't remember who they face. Moxley needs to become the champion again, says Michael. Ciampa does need to shave, says Wrestling Days fan. Sunny. Monica says, sexy men everywhere. What are you talking about? Now on NXT, Timothy Thatcher and Ciampa versus Cole and Strong. Yes. Austin agrees that Thatcher and Strong are sexy. There's a lot of sexiness around. Okay, we've got Ciampa in there with Adam Cole Bebe at the moment. Goes for a big boot. Against the ropes. Holds on to the ropes. Ciampa goes down. Kick to the midsection. Moves out of the way so quick. So quick. Very good. And Ciampa applauds. We've got Gallows in there with Moxley. Moxley takes Gallows down. Looking for a figure four. Is there a stream tomorrow? There's a members stream. I don't know. Haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I was literally trying to get through UFC 257. And then when we got past that, I was trying to get past the Rumble. Like, I just seem to be building up to, like, big shows. In fact, we've got UFC 258 not that far away. But it does mean that the odd day, like tomorrow, I don't have a plan for, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I wouldn't want to commit to something now and then we end up not doing it or whatever. So, I'll have a think. We'll see. We've definitely got a member stream tomorrow, and that is going to be huge. Lovely head scissor takedown by Phoenix. Gallows coming in. Super kick. Was that a little bit... His kicks are nowhere near Gallows. I swear he just delivered 2 kicks there that were a good, like, couple of inches away from Gallows. I reckon that will be shown on social media. I feel like the super kick and the kick that followed, even though Gallows sold it, I don't think it was anywhere near. Phoenix into the corner. Pac's coming in. Missile drop kick by Pac. Quick strikes by Roderick Strong. Undisputed Era doing well over on NXT. Phoenix and Pac are going to look for somersaults, moonsaults to the outside. Kenta is going to debut on AEW, says Humza. Liam Clark, shout out to you. SmackDown on Friday should be great. Yeah, we're going to get Edge on there, and we're going to get the fallout from Bianca Belair. Billie Kay. Obviously, as well, we got Sasha. I mean, Bianca and Sasha, we might start teasing and building for that. Edge will be on the show. Roman on the show. Billie Kay, as I've already mentioned, but she deserves to be mentioned again. Big chop by Phoenix. Phoenix in there with Kenny. Yeah, man. Friday's going to be class. Friday's going to be a lot of fun. And Saturday, UFC. As we said, we've got a UFC show on Saturday. We're sure to do something on Sunday. Days, could we watch Rumble 92 tomorrow? Don't know. We're kind of past Rumbles now, aren't we? 1, 2. Ooh, shoulder up by Phoenix. What's the next show? The next show coming up is Elimination Chamber, isn't it? But I think we're a little way off that yet. We're sure to do some Elimination Chambers as we get closer to that. I just tend to theme them around upcoming pay-per-views. I find it's the easiest way to do it. Nice drop kick there by Pac, who's going for a quick cover and a kick out. Amazing. We've only got like 7 minutes left here. And I still feel like we've got to go to commercial breaks. Unless we're not doing them for the main events. Nice. Undisputed Era are in there, and so is Ciampa and Thatcher. This feels like commercial break. There we go. So they go to commercial break. NXT goes to commercial break. We're still live with AEW though. Pac gets planted. Moxley makes the save. Can we do Elimination Chamber 2014 stream one day? Yeah, well, it'll be an option, let's put it that way. I don't want to commit to them because I'd probably put them as a poll. I want to see Prime Goldberg versus Prime Taker. Some of the best ofs on the network for tomorrow's stream. Maybe a best of. Miss Clown 1, you sexy young man, you. I hope everything's going well. Lovely back kick there by Phoenix. Big boot by Phoenix as well. German by Moxley. Pac has got Omega. German, and he bridges, and it looks like... Oh, I thought that was it. It's just a 2 count. Moxley and Phoenix were both guarding, but it was just a 2. NXT doing a break this late definitely means overtime, says Andres Lopez. I think the Elimination Chamber will be for the Women's Tag Championships. Darby and Sting for Tag Champions, says Philip. Moxley going over, forearm strike. Anderson goes down. We've got Omega and Moxley trading blows in the middle of the ring. David says, Days, what do you think has been better, NXT, AEW? I do think NXT, and I do... But I keep saying this every week. I do think AEW is not a bad show. It's just like this main event. It's a decent match, but it doesn't mean anything. The wedding is the worst thing I've seen on either show tonight. The Money Mat Hangman Page match was fine, but it didn't blow my mind. Britt Baker Thunder Rosa was awesome. I did enjoy that. Tag Battle Royal was good. I enjoyed that as well. Lance Archer, Eddie Kingston didn't quite get to the levels I wanted. Whereas over on NXT, you know, I love that backstory for Xia Li and Boa. I thought that was incredible. This, you know, the women's tag match matters. We got Edge on the show as well. Him and Karrion Kross was great. I feel like NXT is the better show. Or at the moment, certainly their matches mean more. That's the advantage of, you know, doing the tournament thing. And in all fairness, AEW are going to, you know, do that with the women's tournament. So they're about to start a tournament where all their matches are going to matter as well. Great showcase for the women as well in their division. So it's such a big positive for AEW that they're doing that tournament. Plus also the Japanese United States thing, that's going to give it a different flavor. If they're filming all the Japanese stuff over in Japan, that's going to feel different. It's going to have a different flavor. We're going to go over to Japan for like It's good, man. I really like it. I'm really excited for that women's tournament. Omega and the Good Brothers have won. So they are victorious. Of course, AEW won't overrun. Big kicks and strikes coming in. Beating up on... Here comes Lance Archer. Moxley down in the corner. Lance Archer, clothesline. Kenny is down. Moxley is down. Over on NXT, Timothy Thatcher is in control against Roderick Strong. Moxley slowly getting up to his feet. An attack from behind. Oh, it is! It is! It is Kenta! It is Kenta! Oh! New Japan invade! New Japan! Kenta is on AEW! Oh! Look at that! What is the relationship between AEW and New Japan? Kenta from New Japan on AEW. He's got his Go to Sleep Club shirt on. Obviously, he is a member of the Bullet Club. That is huge. That is huge. There must be some kind of an arrangement. Kenta. 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 Moxley down. Omega puts his foot onto Moxley. That's big. That's big. That's helped the score. That is cool. Kenta, man. New Japan guys coming to AEW. So, if you didn't see, AEW ends this week with Kenta from New Japan attacking Jon Moxley from behind. Of course, they are scheduled to face each other very, very soon in New Japan. But this is a very interesting development because it could point towards a relationship there. It could point towards the fact that New Japan are happy and willing for their talent to appear on AEW. Equally, you know, we don't know if there's going to be AEW talent starts appearing over on New Japan. We know that Moxley did appear on New Japan Strong, but I believe it's in his contract that he's allowed, you know, to make New Japan appearances. That didn't really do much for me in regards to like, wow, this is a big shocking moment. But Kenta going to AEW is definitely a shocking moment because I believe he is under contract with New Japan. And I don't know that that contract allows him to make appearances in AEW. That indicates that there's been a development. That indicates that there's been a change. So that means more than Moxley appearing on New Japan Strong. That is very interesting. Let's not get too carried away. Let's not get too carried away before we start saying, wow, we could get Omega Okada again. We could get Dustin Rhodes against Tanahashi. Like, we could start, like, coming up with dream matches. Let's not do that just yet. But a New Japan star invaded AEW. We can say that. That actually happened tonight. And where could that lead? Where could that lead? Very exciting. It's big, isn't it? Kenta, formerly known as Hideo Itami. We are still underway on NXT. So it looks like we are going into this overrun. That is a big moment. That is a big, big moment for AEW. Now we need to add Ring of Honor. They're piping in "This is awesome" chants on NXT. He teamed with Finn Balor in Balor's NXT debut match against The Ascension. Oh, Hideo Itami, yes. Adam Cole is jumping in the ring.
Vape Ross Vape is a legend.
Vape Ross Vape,
They
shout out to you.
donated $2 via a super chat. So you would air UNJPW Impact and Stardom on one show.
It's good, innit? I think they know that relationships are the right way forward. Okay, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong are going to look to put Tommaso Ciampa away. He gets tripped by Thatcher, pulled out of the ring. Thatcher and Cole outside the ring. Adam Cole through the ropes. Tommaso is down in the ring. Lots of very fast-paced action here. Big knee strikes. Oh, DDT by Ciampa. Roderick Strong was trying to get into the ring. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Undisputed Era are out. Undisputed Era are eliminated from the Dusty Rhodes Classic. That's big. Wow, that's big. To be fair, I bet Jay White is cheesed off on someone showing up on AEW. Well, there we go. Look at this. Undisputed Era lost, yeah. John says this show sucks. I knew you'd be unhappy, bud. It was really good. If Ospreay goes to AEW, I will lose my mind. Could you imagine some of them matches? I wonder how bad Tama Tonga is going to whinge about Kenta showing up in AEW. Austin says, Undisputed Era stands are mad. Stay mad, John. Kenta is there for one reason, to get the New Japan US title off Moxley and bring it home to New Japan. Yes. But, and I do agree, that is why he's there. But, people are going to buzz about this. And where could it lead? The fact that New Japan are willing to allow Kenta onto AEW TV is significant. Because I don't know what his contract says. I don't know if he is allowed and has that freedom. I would guess not. Because I would guess if AEW could have got New Japan talent by now, they would have booked him. They would have signed him already. We would have seen some. So the fact that Kenta is, now seemingly being allowed onto AEW, even if it is to build up a match for a New Japan title, that is a significant development. And if this is going to be successful for everyone, where does it lead? What are the next steps? So it is good. It is exciting. Get your full-time scores in. Get your full-time scores in. What did you think about the shows? Did you like the shows? Did you not like the shows? What did you think about the shows? The Bullet Club grows. It's amazing. We are seeing the Bucks, the Good Brothers, Omega, Kenta, all on the same show. Wrestling Days fan says 0 out of 10 for NXT. How come? Anador says NXT 8. Troy says NXT 8.5. Venom says 7.1 for AEW. It was really cool seeing Kenta attack Moxley. Sunny says AEW 6.8, NXT 9. Today says NXT 8.75. Shaquem says AEW 7, NXT 6.9. Nico Guy says both get 8 out of 10. Pro Skills says AEW 8, NXT 8. Sandman 882 says NXT 9.5. The Quad Killer says AEW 0, NXT 8.5. Monica King says AEW 7, NXT 7.75. Scott Turner says NXT 8.75. Paradigm. Oh, I missed it. Hang on. Are you on the other screen? There we go. AEW 8. AEW 8. NXT 7.5. We've got the Quad Killer, AEW 0, NXT 8.5. William Hensey says 7. Pro Skill says it's a tight for me. JB17 says AEW 7, NXT 8.5. Butterspark says NXT 8.75, AEW 6.5. Tyler says AEW 7, NXT 8. Blue Shirt says 8 for both. LSW says 8 for NXT. Kenta would have to be an OMG moment, right? Yeah. Kenta's an OMG moment. The only downside is that the rest of the show wasn't around an 8. I think if the show was solid and then you get Kenta, then you're in the 8s. You don't automatically just get into the 8s because there is an OMG moment. Definitely helps the score. So the problem is that the Archer Kingston match didn't really do it for me. There was a lot of outside interference. The wedding was awful, in my opinion. I appreciate there were some people that enjoyed it, but I didn't like it. So I didn't like the wedding. Archer Kingston didn't do it for me. Hangman Page and Matt Hardy against the Chaos Project was just average. Main event was good. The Kenta thing was good. Thunder Rosa Britt Baker was good. It was really good. So, and the Tag Team Battle Royal was good as well. So there was definitely some good stuff on AEW. But I can't say enough to get it into the 8s. But I'll be quite happy to give it a solid, a very strong 7.5. I think without Kenta, we're probably looking at a 7. But I think with Kenta, we're at about a 7.5. So I feel good about that. I would go up, not down. I could be convinced to go to 7.75. I wouldn't go 7.25. But yeah, I feel like that's a good score for AEW. I feel like that's a very fair score. And I kind of feel like, once again, NXT's probably just pipped it. I don't think there's much in it, but I think overall it was a better show. And I'll go 7.75. I don't think there's much in it. I think that Kenta moment is maybe the big moment of the night. But saying that, Edge being on NXT was awesome. Seeing Edge on NXT was great. And that moment between Edge and Karrion Kross, that was class. I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't know if that was an OMG moment because it was announced in advance. So we knew it was going to happen. So maybe it's not quite the same level as Kenta, but it's still solid. I mean, this is just a solid show. This is just a really good NXT. I mean, I really enjoyed their main event. I really enjoyed seeing Edge. Escobar cut Stallion. Didn't do it for me at first, but it really started to get somewhere. And then, of course, we got the stare down with Karrion Kross after. I thought Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez against Kacy and Kayden was really good. Lucha House Party against Legado del Fantasma was so-so. That didn't really do it for me. There's definitely room for improvement, but I gotta say, man, I do think, once again, NXT has been a really, really solid show. Austin, I'm the same as you, Austin. Isn't it weird that we're always roughly about the same? David Robert Wood, shout out to you, my friend. David Paul said, if there was no Edge, what would your score be? That's an interesting question. I think Edge cut a really good promo, but he didn't contribute loads to the show. And also, there was no surprise because we knew he was going to be on the show. So I think having Edge definitely helped. Maybe he contributed about half a mark. So if you was to take Edge away, maybe AEW would pip it because of Kenta. But then if you take Kenta away, NXT pips it again. So I kind of feel that Edge and Kenta are quite comparable. Edge, very exciting to see him in NXT. But the Kenta thing is great because what does that mean for the New Japan relationship? Is that something more significant? Is it just a one-off? I don't know. I'm very excited to find out. So I feel the Kenta thing was good. I feel the Edge was good. So they're probably about each other. If you used to take Edge away, then maybe AEW pips it because of Kenta. But then if you take Kenta away, NXT once again pips it. So, yeah. Edge Cross, fire. Since you've started streaming NXT again, you always seem to say NXT was better than AEW. Just got to be honest with how I see the shows. Yeah, I mean, I do think week after week it has been just slightly ahead of AEW. I mean, like, I haven't got a preference. I haven't got a... I don't like... If AEW was much better, like, if we didn't have the wedding, and if the Lance Archer Eddie Kingston match had maybe less interference, then it would be a lot closer. I mean, it's close anyway, but I mean, like, maybe it would be a tie. The wedding is a problem for me. The wedding was a problem. Maybe if you just get rid of the wedding, it's a tie. So you know, I think you have to expect that kind of thing from a wrestling wedding, though, don't you? So, you know, it is what it is. Go to Sleep Club. Lots of excitement there. Absolutely brilliant. AEW is choking us with all this talent from Impact, says Kenneth. SmackDown on Friday, Super Bowl on Sunday, says Capsman. Right, well, look, friends, we are done. We are done for the evening. We normally stick around till about 1:15. It is 1:15. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that joined us this week. Let's be crystal. I appreciate that, you know, NXT is just pipping AEW in our ratings. It's just how I'm seeing it. And honestly, if AEW genuinely puts on what I think is a better show, there's been many, many weeks where I've scored them higher. I'm a fan of both companies. I think both companies are doing some really good stuff. I'm really excited about that Kenta development. And honestly, I cannot wait for that women's tournament. So I think both shows are doing some really good stuff at the moment. It's just that NXT's matches mean a little more because of them doing these two Dusty Rhodes Classic tournaments. So, you know, there's a tournament that's up and running. So I think that has given them the edge as well. So, but, I mean, obviously when we get going with this women's tournament, that's going to help AEW score. So let's see. Let's see what the future holds. Love these Wednesday streams. I think we're in a really good place for them. I think both shows are really delivering. I think both shows are in a better place now than they were a few months ago. You know, a few months ago, it was difficult watching these shows. I thought both shows were really coming out with some silly stuff. But this has been a really fun Wednesday. I've really enjoyed this one. There was definitely more good than bad. Loads more good than bad. Both shows really solid. And I agree with the chat. These Wednesday streams are a lot more chilled. They are a lot more kind of wrestling focused. And I think that that's nice. There's definitely a place for that. But I am looking forward to SmackDown as well. I am looking forward to Billy Kay. Let's make no mistake about that. So, yeah, I don't know what we're doing on the channel tomorrow. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And Friday, though, we've got SmackDown. Saturday, we've got UFC. So there's big streams on the way. Awesome, guys. Have a great evening wherever you are. Really do appreciate the support as always. And hopefully I see you again next time. Bye for now.